Yes, people, welcome
You.
to a very special edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note, and I'm here with Mr. I've seen more in a night than I've seen in your life, Stro, and I'm also here with JV as well. Obviously, this is a very special show because, number one, football's back. Football's back, so it's like we actually have something
Say
to talk
it
about.
again, louder for the
Football
people
is
in the back.
Like,
Man, it's mad, bro. Football's back. And we've been able to do the shows without football being back.
Yeah, that's
Watch
true.
how we fly now.
So we have a lot to talk about because football is now back. And also as well, Solomon's in the building. Shout out Sparks as well. We are on DAB.
Big ass
also,
looking fresh.
Looking
fresh.
DAB. So you now have multiple lanes to listen to the show. So you can listen via DAB. So whether it's in your car or in your kitchen, like JV said, if you're cooking, you know what I mean? You know,
you're in the
winding
bath,
up, listen to in the bath,
having a glass of
whatever.
wine.
Glass of
man.
wine.
You ain't got no excuses, what we're saying, basically.
lit-
So all you people who are saying it's just pork, man, and all that, you literally got 5 ways, yeah? There's 6 million ways to die, and there's 5 ways to listen to the show. Yeah? So, pick.
Pick
Which one, yeah?
So you can listen via DAB, and if you're on social media, you can watch it live on the Pi Radio YouTube, or you can watch it live on the Pi Radio Twitter, or download the Pi Radio app, or just go to the old school website, piradio.co.uk, and you can listen via there. So like JV just said, you have multiple ways to listen to the show. But yeah, before we let's get into the results. So Stro, I'll let you take it away and run through the results, and then we'll go on from there.
Oh, there's some goodies, some absolute goodies. So obviously, starting off earlier in the week, Aston Villa, Sheffield United 0-0, Man City 3-0 to Arsenal. Norwich,
The way you said that.
Norwich got beat 3-0 at home to Southampton. Obviously, Spurs United 1-1. Bournemouth got beat at home to Crystal Palace 2-0. West Ham, we're going to talk about Cameron Brady, I've got a lot to say. Got beat at home 2-0, no wonder you wanted everything null and void. Brighton,
No wonder you wanted everything.
2. Arsenal 1. I don't need to say anymore. Watford 1-0 with Leicester. Newcastle 3-0 at home to Sheffield United. Aston Villa got beat 2-1 at home to Chelsea, even though they went 1-0 up. And then the most viewed game ever in Premier League history, and it finished 0-0. What more can you say? Liverpool and Everton 0-0.
Liverpool, Everton, 0-0. So what we will do for the show, obviously, we will go through each and every game. We'll go through all the results. Obviously, some more in depth than others. We'll also talk about the biggest and latest news also regarding what's been going on off the pitch. So where we'll start is, I wanted to start with the Merseyside derby, but then recently, well, it just happened today. Paul Merson but criticised Mourinho and said Kane wasn't going to thrive under him, and then Mourinho responded back. So I'll go through some of the comments that Paul Merson said just to make it clear for everyone on the topic. So I'm just clicking through now. So this is Paul Merson speaking. He said, when Jose took the job, I worried for Harry Kane. He played under Pochettino, and Tottenham sort of had a go wherever they went. There were goals, there were crosses, there were shots. But now he's going to be playing up front on his own, and it's going to be hard work. In the end, he's trying to hit 60-yard passes just to be involved in the game. That's not Harry Kane. He's not fit. He's definitely not fit. They played with virtually 10 men. I think he'll have a serious think at the end of the season. I really do. I don't see him getting 25 to 30 goals next season with the way Jose will want to play. And Jose won't want to play like he did when he first got there and it was 4-2 and 5-3. No way. He'll like those games like Friday night, 1-1. So Mourinho hit back today and basically just went through multiple strikers that he's been with. That he's managed to mention Drogba. I like how he mentioned Ronaldo without mentioning Ronaldo's name. And he was like, there's a guy who's at Juventus, and he was like, this Diego Costa's played X amount of seasons, scored this amount of goals, averages this amount of goals per season under me. According to Twitter, his maths was wrong, but my thoughts on it was just sad to see. It's just sad to see Mourinho falling off the way he has, like no longer with his power. It's like seeing a boxer who is no longer good, past his prime. It's sad to see Mourinho past his prime. From someone who's a Mourinho fan like myself, it's sad to see like hitting. And even the way he's responded to Merson wasn't in prime. Mourinho responds to that in a funny way. This way he looks hurt. You get what I'm saying? It's like the Rafa Fakran.
Because the truth hurts.
Yeah, that's true. Go on, JV. What's your thoughts
You know
on
what
it?
it is with this Number one, yeah. Where was all this energy when when the United fans were telling you how bad Mourinho was? Because it wasn't Mourinho then. All this energy from the commentators, I'm not saying from us, I'm saying from Paul Merson and that. Yeah. When everyone was saying it's Mourinho, everyone's saying no, it can't be Mourinho. Mourinho's done this and that. But all of a sudden, Harry Kane isn't scoring as much, or the darling striker of the nation isn't scoring as much. It becomes a problem. But when he's destroying Man United, who you all don't like, it's not a problem. Keep that same energy that Mourinho was good. You know what I'm saying? Keep that same energy what you had when he was managing United, and you're telling us that it's not him, it's the players. Yeah? Keep that same energy. Because how I see it is, anyway, Harry Kane ain't going to score 25 goals next season anyway. Because he's got legs, his legs are already retired, basically. He's still playing and his legs are retired. Yeah? Don't get me wrong, he can get off a make a yard and shoot, but his legs are chilling, mate. His legs are looking at his bank account, chilling. Yeah. He is not the player he was. So he's not going to do as good under a Mourinho anyway. But if we look at it, he wasn't doing that great towards the end of.
Here's the thing, though.
Anyway.
That being said about it, you said also in that Sky article as well. Harry Kane's before lockdown had 7 goals in his last 10. So it's not like he was in a goal drought. And we've seen we spoke here in depth about Harry Kane's potential injury. Well, not even, but his injury problems he's had in the past. And he's one of them. He's like Rooney. He's slow to get up to speed after injuries. It always took Rooney 4 or 5 games to get back up to match speed and match sharpness. And I think Harry Kane's the same. Will Mourinho? I think Kane. I actually disagree with Merson. I think Kane is perfect for Mourinho. That's his type of striker. To goal.
It depends on what Mourinho you're getting. And that's the issue now.
I get what you're saying.
Because I don't even think Mourinho knows what Mourinho he's going to get. Don't get me wrong. For that match against us, see the same way I'm saying to man, what did Oli do? Yeah. I'm telling you now, Mourinho studied us and made sure because that's what he does. For me, he's in the wrong game right now. Mourinho needs to go and be an international manager because he'll win the tournaments. Yeah, because he's definitely got the football. His game management. He's literally does it game by game now. Yeah. And for people who don't watch enough football or don't understand, that literally means every person he plays, every team he comes up against, he has a plan for them. And that's tends to be towards the big teams. Because I think then when it comes to the smaller teams, he expects certain players to just be able to do it. Do you get what I mean?
That's a very accurate assessment, which I agree with. He does look he is a spoiler against the big team. So if he's got the lesser side, he'll happily spoil the game. Yes. He has no issues with spoiling it. And then when he's playing the better sides, he expects a Kane, a Son, a Mora, a Bergwijn, a Ali in
moments of brilliance.
Yes, for individual brilliance. That's what he's expecting from them. He's expecting individual brilliance. He's not a pattern of play type of guy. No. That's what that is.
His pattern of play is to disrupt your pattern of play.
That's very accurate.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Stroh, what's your thoughts on it? On Merson's comments and how Mourinho responded? How do you look at it?
I flip-flopped between them both, to be honest.
Yeah, go on.
There's part of me that agrees with what Merson's saying.
Right.
Because the way I'm looking at it is, and listen, I've been, exactly like yourself, big fan of Mourinho as a manager. Loved him when he came in, even though he was at Chelsea. And it was him as the character more than anything. He was like a WWE superstar at times. Like he played the heel and he played it so well.
I like that analogy. That's very good.
Like he played the media to a T. The media were just eating out of his hands. Like anything that he did in a press conference was front page news, no matter what. This was prime Mourinho. But you look at some of the teams and how they've set up since then. He's still setting up like he's managing the Inter Milan team in 2011. And he's not adapting, and he's not adapted. You look at some of the managers, like the reason why, and obviously it doesn't pay me to say it because being the fact that I manage a team, like I look at certain other managers to try and take things off. And you look at Fergie over the years. Yeah. One thing you can never say was that he didn't adapt with the times. If he missed out on the title one season, he knew exactly what he needed to do the next season to get it. For example, missed out on the title. Bring me Robin Van Persie, I'll get us that title. Because he knew how to adapt, not just in certain games, but throughout times, through decades. Yeah. Mourinho's struggling with that. Mourinho's going back to that 4-2-3-1 with that striker, like you said, the Drogba-esque. At times, he is going to be at times, Harry Kane, on paper, does look like the perfect striker for him. But you look at that Chelsea team, you look at that Inter Milan team, the parts around it are completely different. And that's the problem. Dele Alli's too inconsistent. Son, awesome player.
Yeah.
But he's the only Bergwijn hasn't been proven yet.
Yeah.
You can't rely on. Think about it. You had Claude Makelele, Cambiasso, two of them in the holding roles. Who have you got now? What world class Lascelles, someone Sissoko?
World class.
What are we doing?
You've not even got your Lampard
Like
replacement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, but exactly. You've not got a Frank Lampard in there. Then you go to the back. The Tongan's running his contract down.
Yeah.
The Reece isn't Petr Cech in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Or
He's not got them solid characters
Yeah.
that you need.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one thing Mourinho has. I put Mourinho in the terms of like, not him now, but like when he was in his pomp. He's like Pep. Like people criticize Pep in terms of, oh, you only win with money. All right, that's cool. But if you get Pep his players and allow him to play his football, you will be successful.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
he makes errors. Like Klopp, no, not like Klopp, but yeah, like Pep. Pep is exactly like that. People have criticized him in the past. Oh, you have to spend X amount. We've seen it at City when he first came in and he didn't have his players, how bad they were. Then the next season, he went and got his players. He spent what? Just 100, was it 150 million he spent on fullbacks alone?
Yeah.
more than
Like,
that,
he-
200,
he spent more
200
on his
million.
defense than certain countries spend on their military.
There you go.
Like his level's 150 million, and that, I can't remember exactly how much he spent in total, but I know 150 million solely on fullbacks.
No, it's
So,
200.
Yeah, 200. So yeah, however much it was, like it was a lot of money. And Mourinho is in that camp. It's like as bad as Mourinho is because he hasn't adapted and he's still in 2011, 2012. Him without his players is even worse. If you get him his players, he wants them older, more experienced players. He'll be more successful, but he is done.
He would do a lot more better with that Tottenham team when they had Kyle Walker, when they had Ericsson, when they had Rose,
Dembele.
Dembele.
Dembele is definitely his type of player.
You know,
Yes.
when you had Alderweireld and Vertonghen both
Yeah.
In the prime.
He needs that age. He needs players between, I'd say, 26 and 32, and then
Okay.
he'll have one or two in there sprinkled in for experience. He
Yeah.
needs a battle-hardened team.
Yeah.
He needs a team what's already. But then, if you think about it, can I credit you for being that much of a good manager because you got a ready-made team? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's where
Go on.
anyone right now, if you've noticed, yeah, Liverpool as a team, get a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Klopp gets zero hate because Klopp has made something. He's built something there.
Right.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
You cannot deny that he has built this. This is all now down to Klopp.
Yeah.
Pep's success, City were kind of doing that before that, weren't they? Do you get what I'm saying? City were winning leagues before
Pep, like Pep has been brought, even though he's elevated City in terms of the way they've won the title. Have they won back-to-back titles on my trip?
Yeah, no, they won back to
Yeah,
back.
they won back-to-back titles that they've not done. The only black mark against him at City is the fact there's two things I think are black marks against him. His defense of this league title, which the coronavirus has saved him from. Because how can you go from being the best team in the Premier League ever, according to pundits and fans and things of this nature, to be 25 points behind? This is the worst title defense ever in the Premier League history. And I'm going back to 92. Even if you look at Blackburn, no one expected Blackburn to do anything after that. Look at Leicester, no one expected Leicester to win it. They were, even though they only got to beat Liverpool by a point to the title, they were the favourites. They were supposed to build a dynasty. Everything people are saying about Liverpool now are exactly 12 months past.
Yeah.
12 months ago, everyone was talking about, see, this is the best team ever. De Bruyne, Pep's possibly the best manager ever. They're going to build a dynasty. The team isn't, minus Vincent Kompany, you still have everyone there.
Yeah.
And then they fell off and nobody's talking about it because it not pains me to admit it. Like, it's funny to admit it. No one really cares about City like that. Because if that's United or Liverpool, like, put it this way, if next season happens and Liverpool are 25 points behind City with Klopp still in charge and them players, they are getting bantered left, right, and centre.
Getting it.
They are getting it. Like, Klopp's a fraud. All this.
Sky are talking about it.
Sky are talking about it. Massive about it. But with Pep, everyone stayed silent. How are you 25 points behind?
It's-
no one's
you know
talking
what
about
is?
it.
You know what it is with him?
Go on.
It's one of them. They know what it is, but then they know that people's rebuttal will just be, "Oh, but it's Pep though. He's done this. He's done that." And I think this is where the bigger outlets, the media outlets, are struggling at the moment because everyone's got their own agendas.
Right.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's why I kind of like watching Roy Keane. Because if United are Macca, he's telling you the Macca. You know what I'm saying?
For anyone listening, Macca means terrible, by the
Terrible.
way.
Dead.
We're just
Done
letting,
out.
just letting everybody know. That's
Dead.
What that is.
You get me a bit of money slang there for you. But yeah. But that's what I'm saying. he would tell you.
We're gonna get onto Roy Keane, obviously,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons when we
There
talk
you go,
about
yeah.
United Spurs. Yeah, we'll definitely like delve into that. But
Just quickly,
go on.
touching on the Mourinho thing.
Yeah. Your last point on it, and then we'll move on. Yeah.
Mourinho either needs, like Bill said, either international job, or he needs to take over an experienced European club. So, for example, an Atletico Madrid, perfectly suited for his kind of style.
Oh, definitely. It's I didn't want to cut you off. Is Simeone the updated Mourinho?
Yeah.
Is he Mourinho if he didn't adapt?
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
If Mourinho adapted, he is Simeone. Simeone's from that cloth.
Do you know what it is with Simeone? Where I rate him very
Yeah,
highly.
go on.
He is old school though, and he's kept them old school ideals.
Yeah.
But he's managed to somehow marry it all together. He's not lost his essence.
He
You
has
get what I'm
great
saying?
man management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
He's ma-
fans, I mean, not the fans. So, players seem to love Simeone.
But if you look at Simeone,
Yeah.
the league that he's played in, he's seen the likes of Ancelotti in that league. He's gone up against him. He's seen the likes of Mourinho gone up against him. Pep Guardiola gone up against him. He's going to be picking certain things up from them games. That's going to help mould him as a manager.
Right.
So that's why I mentioned Atletico Madrid, because Simeone for me is just it's Mourinho in his prime.
That's a great spot. That's why I cut you off. That
He's
is
an
a
old
great,
school Chelsea
Yeah,
Mourinho.
he is.
That is a great spot. That's why I never looked at it like that. That's why I'm just like, that's a great spot.
So, but for me, like, he needs to go to, for example, Portugal.
I
He
think
needs-
I
he
think,
needs
I ain't gonna
international.
lie. I think his tactics and everything, his lack of man management, is done at the highest level. International football is him.
Yeah.
He screams an international
He screams
manager to
it
me.
like the way Portugal won the Euros. You can see Mourinho doing that.
Yes.
But his issue is Ronaldo. That's the issue.
Well, I think because it's international football and the way Portugal did win that European Championship they won, Ronaldo will probably buy into it because he's like, I
Ronaldo's
could
a
win
winner.
again. Yes,
He's a winner.
and he could see definitely he wants to win a World Cup. Definitely, you know Ronaldo.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is there's a reason why Mourinho, when he's come out with them comments back to Paul Merson, he said that striker that's played at Juventus. There's a reason.
I think he's just being paid.
Yeah.
I seen it as him.
Yeah,
just being
no,
paid.
it is
Yeah.
being paid, but there's a reason behind that, and that's what I mean. Like, there's something in that relationship which no one wants to discuss and no one really wants to talk about, especially in Portugal. I know stuff broke down at Real Madrid between them two.
That wouldn't surprise me because things break down with Mourinho at every club he's been with players.
That is one of his biggest faults.
Yes.
That he's not realised. I don't think he realises, or if he does, he's not bothered. He's too petty. His pettiness is a very high level.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And that, in any walk of life, you could be the best. Yeah. If you're not able to let things go, or you have to, it always has to be about him. That's Mourinho's problem for me.
You sound like Kirkland talking about Benitez.
Well, there you go.
Jeez.
But it always, you know what I'm saying?
Make sure you go check that
Yeah.
that episode out, people.
Check
If
that
you
back.
haven't, make sure we had Chris Kirkland on. It's a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
Chris
and
Page
Chris
out
from
from
Redman
Redman.
TV as well. So yeah, go check that out. But now you are right. And times have changed. You can't criticize this younger generation like you would an older generation. Like you could criticize a Carvalho or a John Terry, and they ain't gonna react the same way, say a Christensen or Rudiger would. You know, you get what I'm saying? It's different.
You have to think what he did to Chelsea, you know. What he did to us was bad. But you have to think what he did to Chelsea. They were like 15th in the league. He absolutely ripped them off. That's why I was surprised. See, that's living off past glories. Because if, all right then, anyone who does that now, without having those past glories what he has, you're not then getting another top job without having to go down and come back up, prove yourself again.
Yeah, it's just
You
because
get
of
what I'm
his
saying?
CV. That's the
being
only
said,
reason.
yeah, CV. That actually is probably the only saving grace for Pep. That defense of a Premier League title is worse. That's it. The Chelsea one, the one you're talking about,
Yeah.
when they left him. Imagine where they would have finished if he didn't get sacked.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have got relegated, but they would have finished bottom half.
No,
But
it's
this
a
way-
high possibility.
it's
They
a
were
high
like
possibility.
15 slash. I'm sure they even got to like
yeah,
16th.
they were 16th, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's where Arsenal could finish this season, but we'll get onto that.
Ooh.
We'll get onto that. We will get onto that. So, all right, let's get into the Spurs United game. Obviously, it finished 1-1. We'll go through some of the YouTube comments here. Georgie F says, please let's get this clear. Paul Pogba walks, in capital letters, walks into any midfield in the world. I don't care what anyone says. Shout out Faris. He says, yes, people, great setup. Yeah, the setup is nice in here.
It's fire,
For anyone
innit,
who's watching on
Faris?
YouTube.
It's
beautiful.
My guy,
It's
Faris.
absolutely
it
beautiful.
It is. Shout out Solomon, shout out Sparks.
Big S.
And he also says, congrats to Pi Radio and you guys for making it on DAB, Digital Audio Broadcasting. You'll make it to the top soon, guys. Yeah, man. We try.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
salute
When we
Forest,
make
man.
it to the top,
Always,
you're coming with us,
always.
Forest.
man.
Number
We're
one
reaching,
fan.
we're reaching. So yeah, on to the United Spurs game, 1-1. I don't even know where to start with this. See me sucking my teeth. I'm still mad about it now, like it just happened. I'm
You
still
know
annoyed
what?
at that game.
I'm not as mad.
I'm still big mad.
I'm not as mad, but I'm still mad at Ollie, if
So
that makes sense.
before I take up all the airtime and rant, you know what, Stroh? Since you're the only non-United
Yeah.
fan here, we'll let you start and give us your thoughts on the game, the lineup, should Pogba have started, etc., etc.
See,
What do you think?
we had this discussion last week,
Mhm.
and we were talking about whether we thought he was going to start or not. And
Yeah.
obviously, I know you had the same discussion on the football terrace as well. But for me, going away to Tottenham, knowing how Mourinho's going to play, Solskjaer just played right into Mourinho's hands, completely into his hands.
Thank
For
you.
me, Pogba's got to start. When it's not working at half time, and he's doing a vigorous warm up as well,
Yeah,
you bring him on.
I didn't get that.
You also bring Mason Greenwood on at half time as well. You take Dan James off because he was non-existent, let's be honest. Right? And this is coming from a neutral. But for me, before that, there's fundamental errors. De Gea isn't De Gea anymore. He's not the De Gea that I know.
Facts.
And I'm sorry, but he needs to be dropped. He has to
Facts.
be. And you recall Henderson, end of the season, and you need to push on with him because I think he is England's number one for future years. He's an excellent goalkeeper. Harry Maguire, questionable. And I'm sorry, when you come with that price tag, you should not be getting turned like that. And yes, I understand that Bergwijn's a quick player, but for someone who's not got that much pace and that much experience in Harry Maguire, your positioning's got to be better. Has to be. You've made it too easy for him.
Okay.
And Wan-Bissaka, I thought had a good game,
Yeah.
but there was times where he was being caught out and playing people on side, and I think Bergwijn was one of them. Like,
Very well was one of them, yeah.
and it's cost him. But the thing is with Aaron Wan-Bissaka that won't fault him. I've said this. I think he's an excellent player. That's just something that he needs to learn from. And I'm sorry, Luke Shaw. Like,
Oh, we gonna get onto Luke Shaw. We will get there.
but for me,
Go on.
Solskjaer got it completely wrong,
All right.
and the results on him.
Go on, JV.
Boy.
I'll let you get it off in it. I've got
know
a
what?
lot. I've not spoken.
Man
on
weren't
this.
even angry. He
I've
just
got a
made
lot
me
to say.
angry.
I've got a lot to say. Like a lot of the points Stroll made. Obviously, I'll let you get to your point. I 100% agree with like a lot of them points, but we gonna get there because I'm still mad. Like this game just happened before we walked in here. I'm still annoyed. Like you can tell I'm annoyed. Like I was annoyed at the time. I'm still annoyed now. How Keane was on air is how I felt inside. Like when we did the shout out Terry. Obviously, we do fan cams on the football terrace. So I do. If it's United, I'll do a fan cam. JV will do one. If it's a Liverpool game, Stroll will do one. So make sure you YouTube the football terrace. Go subscribe. How Keane was, how angry he was, is how I felt on the inside. So even my fan cam being that calm, I'm very surprised about because I was fuming. Well, go on. I'll let you get to it.
Because I know you, I could tell you was vexed as
Yeah,
well. You know, I could tell you was angry for.
Yeah,
I was absolutely fuming. Go on.
Do you know what it is with me now? Yeah. When Pogba wasn't starting, yeah.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking, okay, Pogba's not starting, but you've got on Fred and McTominay. So to me, that must clearly mean that that Bruno is right up there. Then I was thinking that Bruno
playing right off of Martial.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was thinking, okay, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Because that frees him up. But no, he had him in a midfield flat three. Do you get what I'm saying? He had Fred, McTominay, and Bruno. So he reduced Bruno, someone who's basically saved your season, as a manager, and you've put him.
possibly saved his job. Let's be honest.
Yeah, easily.
That's because before he came in, United were pretty much in free for all.
That's what I mean. So he's put him now in a not even defensive, but you just put him in the middle of the park where he's not going to be very effective. And you seen he wasn't as effective. Yeah. So then for me, that's the first thing wrong. Because when I seen the lineup at first, I thought, yeah, I can deal with that. It makes sense.
Okay.
If it was like that, if it actually was like that on the pitch, I think the game's different. Because Tottenham was clearly playing some sort of hybrid 4-4-2. So this is one thing I don't rate about Ollie as well.
Go on.
He's not able to adapt during a game. He needs half time.
You are preaching to the. You don't even.
He needs half
I don't
time.
wanna cut you off. Go on. I agree though.
You know what I'm saying,
1000%.
innit?
Yes.
It's
yeah.
almost like, you know what? This is Ollie. I've got it now.
Yeah,
Boom!
go on.
It's hit me.
Yeah.
0 minutes to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
He's a fan.
For those who not watching, JV just leant back from the mic.
And he's
staring into
watching.
space.
Yeah, he leans back, he's cocked back in his seat, and he's watching like a fan who has no effect, who
Well,
can't
you see
affect
that
it.
because Michael Carrick's the one that's most active on the bench at that time.
And then, like, all right then, it's 0-0.
Yeah.
Mourinho is in his technical area going mad. Solskjaer sat there,
Right.
not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating because it's almost like sometimes I think he's too overawed with the job, you know. I think it's
He's too much of a fan.
Yeah.
He's happy
It's
to
not
be
even-
there. He would be like,
Yes.
"What are you managing?"
Yes.
Like we're just ecstatic. Like never mind winning games and getting results. We're just ecstatic to have the job.
Do you know what I think it is? I think
100%.
every time he's managing,
Yeah.
at least 3 or 4 times in a game he goes, "Oh my God, I'm Man United manager." You know, in his head. I think he has that thought, "Oh my God."
Georgiev just said here on YouTube, "Thank you, JV. Ollie's in-game management is atrocious." We
It
will
is.
we will get to the comments in between points on YouTube as well for anybody
It
watching
is.
on YouTube.
It's atrocious. He could, like,
yo, Stroll, you're a clown. For those who don't know, Stroll just commented on hashtag. Well, not even hashtag Ollie. He just put Ollie in.
you know what I'm saying? But it's literally one of them things where it's like, and I said this, he's had 3 months to do something. What's he been doing? Man's literally had 3 months to do his homework, and then he's come back in on the first day, and then he started writing as soon as the teachers asked for the homework.
I've been there many a time.
You know them ones,
Plenty of
innit?
times.
Many a
Completely
But guess
forgot.
what though? We probably had a day or a week at most. He's had 3 months.
time. Yeah, that's true.
He's literally not come up with anything. Like, to me, it was almost like, "Come on, lads, show me what I think you can do."
Yeah.
It's that.
It's a Sunday League team talk. Realistically, that's what it is.
Just
Like
go out there
I
and
know
show
you're
your
better
own.
than what the results are showing me. So you need to go out and prove it to everyone else in the league.
Because you know what I'm starting to think now, and I hope I'm wrong, but is that Bruno run? Because I call it the Bruno run from when he come in. Is that Bruno run just another same as the PSG run, which ended with that?
Yeah.
Is it another case of the players being lifted? Is it a case of the players being lifted and not necessarily the manager's effect
course it
on the
is.
players?
We've seen this. Of course it is. So that's why when everyone was... Go on, continue.
No, hit me, man, hit
When
me.
everyone was gassed up about, "Oh, Bruno's coming, our form was so great beforehand," that was Bruno.
Yes.
That was literally the Bruno. All he did, nothing different apart from not play Pereira and play Bruno.
Yes.
That was literally it. There was no difference. There was no tactical change. It was literally the players the same way to run when he came in. And Paul Ince needs credit because everyone thought that he was talking rubbish when Ollie first came in. He said anyone could have come in and done that. And we all thought we was talking. We was all on the Ollie juice. Shout out to Nuruddin. We was all drinking it, myself included. I was like, yeah, give him the job. How can you not? Because I thought it was him. But then when players started getting injured and tiring and breaking down, and then you think, right, was legit the players? And then everyone criticizes Pogba. Yes, he deserves criticism. But once Pogba's not played this season, barely played this season, and United can't win 3 Premier League games in a row. That tells you what, that stat is damning.
You know what's mad? You see, like when everyone was like,
3 games.
there you go.
We can't win in a row without Pogba, but yet he's the virus and he's the problem.
Do you know what's mad? Don't you remember when it was? We can't win 3 games in a row. But don't you remember before when it was like, back in the day, it's like, how many games in a row are we gonna win?
Yes.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It was like,
Yeah.
oh, six games in a row, 7 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh, we drawn that one, and then we go on another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, with Ollie, yeah, like a few of the things Joe said. Sure, for me, you see that move. see, like man is saying Wan-Bissaka played thingy on side.
Yeah.
No, Shaw wasn't in line. If Shaw is in line, then Bergwijn becomes offside. So then this is how it works. Because Shaw's done that header.
Yeah.
Shaw's done that header into no man's land and then started running forward. He's then drawn Maguire out. Naturally, Maguire's drawn out.
Yeah.
Then naturally, Lindelof's out. So then naturally, Wan-Bissaka, it's like a chain reaction. As a back four, you're supposed to hold your line. So then they're probably trying to in that time, they're probably trying to reconstruct that line.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So as much as, see, like, for me, the mistake isn't on, for me, that mistake isn't on Maguire, you know. That mistake is on Shaw,
Yeah.
and it's on Ollie.
Okay.
That's on Ollie because
It's a catalogue of errors you're saying.
it's a catalogue of errors, but I'm telling you now,
Yeah.
someone does that to Maguire every training session.
It's highly
There's no way Rashford doesn't do that to him.
Yeah.
There's no way Martial doesn't do that to him. So on and so forth, all the fast players. It's the manager not recognising that Maguire and Lindelof are the same player when they're next to each other. And that Eric Bailly, someone with pace, is needed to counter it.
Yeah.
Because without, this is how you got to think of it. I think this, and I play Football Manager, bro. I'm no sort of flipping.
You ain't got your way for
Yes.
A or B license, but even you can figure it out. But
This
yeah,
is
go
what
on.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would see Luke Shaw next to Maguire. That would spell danger for me, because I say they're both slow.
Yeah, because you look at the acceleration. Even a Football Manager, you look at, because I'm a pace merchant anyway on FIFA or what.
Any
I'm a
sort of
pace
defender's
merchant,
got to have pace in it.
I need pace down
Yeah.
the sides. Like I was playing FIFA and I bought. Well, I was playing FIFA 19, so I bought Bissaka and then used the left back and sign a left back in. I bought Tierney actually because he's rapid on FIFA 19.
Yeah.
He's like 94 and 93, so I'm like, you quicker than Shaw, and I bought Varane.
There
to
you
bring in
go.
pace and then
But
play
then here's
next
the
to Bailly.
thing.
We'll go
So
on.
we realize that you can't have two slow players next to each other.
Yeah.
And then two, because this is what he's doing. He's got two slow players next to each other, and then even if he does play Bailly next to Wan-Bissaka, that's two fast players. So then, if I'm the opposition team,
just
I'm
go
looking
down
at
the left.
Bailly and Wan-Bissaka and going, "See you later, mate." And then I'm going to these two because if you watch that match, how many crosses were even attempted from Wan-Bissaka's side? Zero.
All the danger came down the left hand side.
Literally, when they got down Wan-Bissaka's side, they switched it.
Yeah.
They got down that side and switched it over to the other side. Luke Shaw is the danger. Do you get what I'm saying? With Luke Shaw not being in there, I'm not. Well, I don't like him. I actually don't like him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying this because I don't like him. I was going to say that, but no, I don't like him. 'Cause for me, he is a liability.
Yes.
He is like. I honestly think a lot of players have had a lot of flack. I'm going to say this. This is very controversial. People might think he's the worst player we've had since Fergie. He's the worst player we've had who's been allowed to continuously keep that up. I can't think of someone who has messed up as much as him and has had opportunity. This is like the fourth or fifth season he's been like this.
Yes.
And let me back that up.
Yeah, go on.
The fee,
People forget that.
the
Go on.
hype,
Yes.
the off-field issues with his weight.
Don't forget, which is very unprofessional. Let Pogba come back. Let Pogba or Martial balloon up like that. And let's not forget, I just want to cut you off because you'll probably go there anyway. Because even talking about this, it's got me fuming inside. His wage. He's the highest
That's
paid
my point.
left back in Europe.
Yeah.
The highest. People are quick to talk about Pogba's wage and his fee. Oh, he's 92 million. Talk about Martial hasn't scored X amount of goals in a season. But he's the highest paid fullback in Europe.
That's
Which-
incredible.
Is
Which-
he even gone?
Which, I'm sorry, look at my club and the two fullbacks we've got.
Yeah.
The fact that he is the highest paid fullback is a disgrace.
Yes.
When you've got fullbacks of Trent, Robertson, you look round the other Premier League as well. You've got people like Kieran Tierney, who, like you said, he's not really shown at Arsenal, but from what he
Tierney's
played
better
at
than
Celtic, he's much better.
Shaw's not even. I don't even think is top 10 left backs in the country.
Ricardo at Leicester, brilliant fullback.
Do you know what
Shaw
it is? See, with Shaw, for me, would get a transfer to somewhere, maybe a Villa somewhere.
And Everton.
Playing for a few games. Nah, Everton won't even get him. Everton will go.
Digny's better than Shaw.
Everton, they don't need him. Baines, how he is in the shape he is right now, about 35, is better than Shaw. Shaw is, if you think about Shaw, if you look at his attributes, his weight is this and that, you might as well be playing a 37-year-old because he's not fast. Yeah.
He doesn't excel at anything. That's my problem.
Yes, you know what it is? He's like a faded player, but he's like someone who's already had the career. You know, like when these players get to the end of the career and they start fading, and every attribute just seems to start fading rapidly. That is him. He's been on a decline like that for a long time. He is honestly the worst player with the most minutes. Show me a player who's had as many minutes, for United as him pre-Fergie, or even half the minutes. You can't. Who's been that poor?
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Make a very
Consistently,
valid point.
every season, he's one of our poorest players every season.
Yeah. And the thing is, he gets away with it scot-free, and I don't know why. I've said this repeatedly when people mention signings United. I've said this many a time when we do that United show on the Football Terrace. United need a left back. I've said it on here. How many times do I have to say, yes, United need a right-sided player? 1,000% agree. After the right-hand side, if United go get Sancho, we need a left back. Do I believe we need a holding midfielder? Yes. Not as important. Do we need a centre back? Yes, because I think Bailly and Axel are both too injury prone. But a left back should be second on that priority list. United need to be looking at left backs now.
Do you know how mad it is? You know, from when he broke his leg.
Yeah.
This is quite mad. You know, from when he broke his leg, any other club tries replacing him.
That's true. Once you come back, because people forget that. People give Anderson a lot of stick, but people forget Anderson had, I think it might have been 1 or 2 very serious injuries, and then that's how it happens in football. If you have a serious injury and you can't perform at that high level, you get moved on.
I just
That's
play
his
devil's
words.
advocate.
Go on.
I think you need a fullback more than you need a winger.
Yeah, we do.
You
and-
know what? I won't even disagree with that.
Nah, because here's the
I won't
point.
even, I
So-
won't even disagree with that.
So speaking from experience, you look at Liverpool's 13-14 team.
Yeah.
Attack amazing. Sturridge
Yeah.
in his prime. Suarez prime. Sterling.
SAS,
Sterling just starting to get into it. Then you had Coutinho backing it up. Yous have got an attack which is top quality. I mean, you look at the impact Pogba made when he came on. Oh my
We don't
lord!
get to that, but yeah.
But the defense we had was a shambles. Moreno, Colo Torre, Glenn Johnson, Simon Mignolet, net not good enough.
Yeah.
And
Nah, it was-
and listen, all everything that was thrown at Liverpool was your attack's great, but attacks don't win your titles, defences do. And then look at what we've done. Brought in Van Dijk, sorted our fullbacks out, got a top quality keeper. You need a fullback more than you need an attacking player if you're gonna go forward and compete in the Champions League.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. The right hand side does need to be addressed.
Yeah, it
but
does,
if someone,
100%.
if someone like you saying a left back is more urgent, I ain't gonna disagree with you because they are both urgent. Like they should be the two positions United are looking at. Like, right, we need a first team or somebody to come in now who is gonna be the first choice left back.
Yeah.
That's why I get really angry when I see these like, oh yeah, we're close to getting Van der Beek. Like, don't get me wrong, excellent player.
Yes.
Bro, unless this guy's gonna play left back, get in someone. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you've got some mad plan to make him a left back, just go and get a left back.
I
Like,
get what you're saying.
like
Yeah.
literally, there's people at our club, yeah, and I've said this time and time again. They wouldn't get into. We have players in our team who wouldn't get into the top 10 Premier League teams. Never mind,
Top 4
yeah.
or top 6.
Never mind someone who we're being told has aspirations of winning a title in the next few years. Luke Shaw, for me, goes to a Norwich. They play him for a few
Bournemouth.
games and go, see you later. Bournemouth, they play him for a few games and they go, see you
Yeah,
later.
that's true. Even Bournemouth, like, yeah, he's one of them. He's a championship player. Or a team battling relegation in the Premier
Yes,
League.
he is of that level.
He's got
because
West Ham written all over him.
any
Is he?
player,
I don't even think he's better than Cresswell.
for me, nah, he's not. Any player, yeah, who doesn't,
See the alley-oop. Did you see the alley-oop? Did you see
you know what
that?
I'm saying?
Did you see that?
Any player, I'll look into the camera for this one. Any football player who doesn't take his health, yeah, seriously, when that is the one thing which is going to prolong your career and make you more money, you're not serious. You shouldn't be at that top level. It's not like man's not like some, I don't know, poker player, bro. You don't need to be in some mad
not
physical shape.
It's not like he's a darts player or
Yeah,
something like
his
that.
shape, your physical shape actually impacts on your job
Yeah.
and how much money you can make in the future. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me, Luke Shaw is the one problem because without him, Tottenham don't score that goal.
Yeah, he starts it.
Tottenham don't score that goal. And Harry, as much as I'm saying Harry Maguire, everyone's like, yeah, it's Maguire's fault. I'm telling you now that happens to Maguire every day in training.
See,
Yeah,
but
there's no way that. Let me just go through some of the YouTube comments. But yeah, I hear that. When you go up against Martial, Rashford, Greenwood, you get skimmed. That's why when people, Greenwood bullied, I think it was Lindelof, and then it was a clip that was on Twitter, I think it was a few weeks ago, and he knocked him out of the way and then scored the goal, and everyone was criticising Lindelof. Do you think that our defenders don't get spun in training by that attack?
Yeah, it gets
no,
spun,
but I'm
bro.
not. No, but the reason why I said it was Maguire's fault, one, is because of his experience of him, and if it is happening in training, he's got to know better not to get that
I get what you're
tight.
saying. Yeah, you have to be smart. I'm just going to go through this now. We're going to get to that. Georgiev says, shout out to Georgiev and Faris because you man are in the comments. De Gea has been at the throne for 9+ years, constantly saving United points. Let's respect him and give him a chance to prove himself again. I was for that
Last season,
last season.
Nah, not last
I was-
season. The season before.
Yeah, like I was like, all right, we'll give him a chance, but like, you got to go.
How many? You know what it is with
I
him
don't care
now,
how fired. It's like your girl being fired, where she's just constantly treating you bad and you've had 10 fire
bro.
years.
She's not
Then
treating
again-
you bad. She's cheating,
She's
and you're finding out every time. You get me?
like that. And she's cheating, and it's like, all right, we've been together 10 years, everything's fine. And then 11th, 12th, 13th year, it's like, why you got
Yeah,
go?
it was fire at
Yeah,
the beginning.
it was
Yeah,
fire, you gotta
this is
go.
what it is. He was
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, everything was Chris, and then he's just messing up. Yeah, and then you've got to think of it now. It's kind of like, does he want to be here, De Gea?
He doesn't. He needs to be dropped.
And we've got to cash in. That's what I'm saying. Because at one point, man was saying, "Oh, Kepa went for 70 mil. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get that for him." Now, bro, I'm looking like, yo, if someone says 40, 50 mil, I go, yeah, man.
Yeah, take
you know
him.
what I'm saying?
And
We
what a
should've never given him
disgrace
bumper
that is.
deal. Faris says David De Gea needs to be dropped. I agree 100%. Let's not forget Romero is a good keeper. Dean Henderson needs to come in as a number 1 next season and
Yep.
sell De Gea. Harry Maguire is an average defender. At most, I'm guessing you said there. Thank you, JV. Ollie's in-game management is atrocious. Oh, we're going to get to that. Overrated. Farris give Maguire the whole clip. He said, overrated player by our fans. The Titanic turns quicker than him. He's a fridge on wheels. And Ollie should have took off Scott McTominay and Daniel James for Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood.
Yep.
Ollie's got no in-game tactics. Yeah, I agree. He's out of his depth. I don't blame him. I blame the people who are fine with him at the top.
Yeah.
Yo, Farris, have you read my
true
notes?
that,
He's read my show notes or
it's
something.
true what he's saying.
Ollie's wins are more of a player quality than the manager setting up tactically for a game. Luke Shaw out. Do you know the name of this guy?
Right.
Musa.
I'm going to say Feitu Musa.
Yeah.
Muasa.
Have you heard of him? 'Cause
I have heard
Farris
of
has
him.
mentioned
I've heard of
Musa.
him.
F Musa, I've heard
Is he
of
good?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One good
Very
player.
good.
Okay.
Farris, you know what, Farris?
Wait,
Yo,
don't he
are
play
you
in
Farris?
France?
I think you might be his agent, you know. Every week, yeah.
Don't he
he's
play in France? Yeah.
yeah.
It's the one I'm thinking of.
Georgiev also says, even if Bailly doesn't manage to stay fit, we have Axel. No need to spend money on another CB. Let's save money and spend it on a top quality left back. My response to that is, why not sign both? I'm going to give my thoughts on the game, but sign both. I'm sick of why United have to pick and choose. Like, if United need 4 players to get closer to the title, go and sign 4 players. Like, are we Arsenal? Are we on a budget? Is the money not there?
So-
and then add in players we can sell as well. I'm just going to continue to go through these. One extra, I'll let you go. Eric Bailly would have came in with a last-ditch tackle. Right,
Yes.
you really in my show notes for
Yes.
real. Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof do not complement each other. Bailly needs to play alongside Maguire. Shaw gets paid to be an athlete. Highest paid left-back in history. Let that sink in. Jeez. You mentioned that. I can't go on JV. Pronounce the first guy.
Tagliafico, Tellez, Chilwell, Digne, Danny Rose.
Come on, how we still playing Shaw?
You know what's wild about that
Go
is
on.
the fact that Danny Rose is in there and it's still like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
and
it's
the
better.
thing is, the left backs we are naming, I'm not even big fans of. I'm not a big fan of Cresswell or Danny Rose, but they are better than Shaw, and that goes to show
Yeah.
how far United have fallen. That our left back wouldn't look out of place in
So-
Norwich's team.
He's getting away with murder. I'm telling you, there's
So-
no other top team he'd get close
Flawless.
to.
Before you carry on with the YouTube comments, because
go on.
because it seems like a lot of them are picking what you want to say. I want to hear your opinion. I want the full clip now. I've been waiting for this all weekend.
Because you know me very well, so you know that. Like, normally, like, on social media, like, I don't really, like, rant and let things out in regards to the game, but I was fuming, and I said how Keane was at half-time in the studio is how I felt felt inside, and even more so at full-time. So, my thoughts are, one thing about Ollie, yes, I give him credit for the team. This squad is better. This is the best squad and most balanced squad and the best 11 United have had when everyone's fit since Fergie.
Yeah,
So
100%.
therefore, you should get better results, and you should get better results than the previous manager and be playing better football than you're not. This is as bad as Mourinho. This is as bad as Van Gaal. It's as bad as Moyes, whichever way you want to dress it up. And even if you believe Ollie's better than them 3, the bar's on the floor. So you should be with the team you have.
I think bar Moyes, Ollie's had the best thing. Bar Moyes.
Yeah, Moyes obviously excluding it, but I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying bar Moyes. Ollie's had the best squad.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I
he
agree
should
with that.
he
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 should be
should
getting
be
results.
doing way better than these other
Yes,
man.
he should be able to win 3 games in a row in a whole season, pretty much. Because I doubt we're going to do it. Like, I can see us drawing against Sheffield United. So, onto the game anyway. I said, as long as you get the right result, I'll show up. Yes, even if I believe Ollie picks the wrong lineup. I seen that lineup. I said it's the wrong lineup. Pogba should be playing. Greenwood should be playing. Obvious suggestions. I call them 5 the Avengers. Bruno, Pogba, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford for a reason. Play them 5. Like, this is Spurs. This is a Mourinho team. You know, Mourinho knows, Stroll knows, JV knows, anybody who watches football knows Spurs are not going to come and attack. So why you need 2 sitting midfielders, I have no idea. You know 1,000% they are not going to attack. What Mourinho's going to do is sit in deep, leave no space, wait for an individual piece of magic or a mistake. And he got
Or a
those
counter-attack.
2. Yeah, you got the Bergwijn individual, very good goal. 4 mistakes if you count Ollie in it. Ollie Shaw, Maguire,
De Gea.
and De Gea. Like, we'll get to them mistakes. So he's picked the wrong lineups. I'm already like, oh, you just don't get it. So onto the goal. Shaw, terrible. Absolutely diabolical. Don't do that. Don't head the ball into a central area. No accountability
Yeah,
from
but you
him.
taught that as kids.
Yes, no conviction. Yeah, there's 0 conviction from him on that header. It's just, let me just put my head on this, and wherever it goes, it goes. There was no direction. I think he was trying to head it. It might have been Fred. It might have been Rashford. I can't remember. Who are you trying to head it to? And if you don't head it centrally, head it wide.
Yeah.
Head it in front. So at least if they get the ball.
Or
it's in
if
that
you're
area.
not comfortable, head it out for a throw-in.
Head it out for a throw in. Bring it down. Do something. So, all right. So, Shaw, terrible mistake, but he'll get away with it because no one's ever held accountable at United. Nobody is held accountable for mistakes. It's the biggest business in the world that I know that where when mistakes happen, no one's held accountable. Here at Pi Radio, people are held accountable. If we do 3 or 4 terrible shows in a row, Solomon's gonna say something and eventually kick us off. If we're on here swearing, effing and jeffing and all this type of thing and turning up late, like that goes for any show. How is there more accountability at Pi Radio than there is at Manchester United Football Club? What is going on?
Do you know why?
Pi Radio's run better.
Yous man are both dads. Happy Father's Day to all the dads as well for yesterday. Yous both hold your kids more accountable than Manchester United hold you accountable. If you're one of your kids or your kid makes a mistake repeatedly, you're gonna punish him.
Oh, they're getting
You're not
grilled.
you're not just gonna let it slide. But at United, mistakes after mistake after mistake happens and there's no accountability. Shaw has been bad for as long as I can remember.
Because there's a lack of leadership.
Never gets dropped. Onto Harry Maguire. Yes, you have to position yourself better because of pace, but you can't get beat that easy. Fly it. You know what? Go all in, drag him down. Go once Shaw makes that mistake, fly in at Bergwijn, and at least if Bergwijn skips past you, try and take him out. Attempt, like Keanes said, get close to people, make tackles. Maguire is a big unit. Like Faris called him, what's it called? Called him Titanic. Called him a fridge. Hit him, take him out, and take the yellow card. I'd be like, all right, Shaw made a mistake.
Yeah, because all day it's a yellow card given a position in the pitch.
Yeah, it's a yellow card. Take the yellow card, get back in position, and then onto all right. Maguire's been skipped past, so that's 2 errors right there. Then De Gea. At first, when I first seen it, I thought great shot. Watched it back, it's straight at you.
Yeah, I thought
It's
that.
straight
I
at
thought
you.
it was like, big,
Yeah,
like you know
it's
what I mean,
straight at you.
out of the way a bit.
It's literally straight at you. And again, De Gea is probably the biggest example of what does he have to do to be dropped. We already seen Van Gaal drop him. We watched Van Gaal drop him when he had his contract dispute and he was playing Romero at the start of the season. We talk about unprofessionalism from the likes of Pogba, from the likes of Martial, but Shaw and De Gea get away with it. This man is like when a player is dropped because his contract extension is not being done. That is unprofessional. That means your head's not in it. Drop this guy. He's very comfortable. He knows he can make. United have 8 games left. He knows he can make a mistake in 8 of those games, in 6 of the next 8 games, and still play the final 2. He has never dropped.
Do you know
Someone
what
put
it is? He might be thinking, I'll make a mistake because I'll be gone anyway.
Yeah, or possibly that. But then that's on the manager to see that. Like that's on how many. Someone put it up on Twitter. The amount of points that De Gea has cost Manchester United. I think it's 9 or 10. Please, somebody in the comments tell us if they know.
I think it was
10
10
points. Add 10 points onto Manchester United's total right now, where I know
Sitting comfortably top 4.
comfortably top 4 and close to Leicester, where we should be, and that's disregarding all the issues we have with the manager. So then, all right, goals.
Nah, at 10 points, you're above Leicester.
There you go. Just drop the goalkeeper, and it's not like you don't have good backup.
I was just about to say
Romero's
that
good
Romero
backup.
for me would probably start for. Romero would be Arsenal's number 1.
Yeah,
He'd
probably.
be Chelsea's number 1.
Yeah.
100% be Chelsea's
do you
number
know what
1.
I mean?
The fact that Kepa's the most expensive keeper in the world is a shambles,
I'd say
by the way.
apart from United, City and Liverpool, I'd say Romero would probably be everyone else's number 1 in the league.
Definitely Everton's number 1. Don't even get me started on
he's
T-Rex.
Argentina international goalkeeper for how many years? For God's sake, you know what I mean?
And every time he comes in, he's solid.
Solid.
Great professionalism. You never
Yeah.
hear anything about him. He never complains.
He
don't
is the
play.
ultimate professional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great backup. Like the best. There's no better backup. Like he's exceptional backup. So onto it. You get to half time. We're 1-0 down against the Spurs sides we know ain't gonna attack. Now they have something to hold on, and now they have something to hold on to. So you know they're not gonna attack. All right. Don't double down on your mistake. You've got the lineup wrong. Cool. I will forgive you getting the lineup wrong if you change it at half time.
He can still redeem himself.
Yeah.
Why do you need someone explain to me? You're a goal down against a team you know is not going to attack at half time. Why do you need 2 deep lying midfielders now? Now you take one of them off. I would have took McTominay off, but you take one of them off, whether it's Fred or McTominay. Why, after seeing what did Ollie watch in that 45 minutes that made him go, yeah, we can get back into this?
Do you know what done my head in about that though? You know, even when Pogba didn't come on straight away, in my head I thought, you know what? McTominay scored a few this season. He might push him up more.
Yeah.
No, that's what does my head in. He doesn't even like change things. Like he could have then changed formation. If you're not going to change the way that you're playing, you can at least change the formation, which will create a change. If you change that formation, if you say to Fred, you sit, and McTominay, you join in a bit more.
Yes.
Do you get
But
what I mean?
then we'll get to his in-game management. So you've doubled down on your mistake. What did you see in that 45 minutes that made you go, we're going to get back into this. We never look like scoring.
No.
We never look like scoring. Rashford had the snapshot from Sanchez's poor header. Was that it? Did we create any other chances?
The free kick where if Rashford actually believes he's going to get there,
Oh,
he
the
scores.
header that he missed. So here, big Manchester United with the attacking talent we have, and we're here talking about half chances. Rashford slightly not being brave enough, and Rashford getting... We setting up like we Mourinho, waiting on individual brilliance or a mistake. And one thing about Mourinho's sides are, the defenders really don't make mistakes like that, even though they were shipping goals. So actually, yeah, they do make mistakes, but you get my point.
They're not going to win that game.
Why
That's what it is.
why are we setting up like that? So you get to half time. Ollie's in-game management is the worst I've ever seen from someone who's been doing something for 10 years. His in-game management, I can't remember one game he has affected from the bench since he got the permanent job. When he was the interim manager, affected games, was changing formations.
Because he had
playing
nothing to lose.
Playing diamonds and playing different four and playing Lingard as the false nine and things like that. And he had ideas. Then you get the manager's job and you do nothing of note. Your in-game management is absolute. What are you watching?
It's coming in like he lied on his CV.
Yeah, what? Yes. He lied on his CV and now he's got the job and he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So your in-game management is terrible. It's so... Everybody can see, right, Paul Greenwood and Pogba. How obvious it was. I was watching the game with my mum.
I'm a Liverpool fan.
I was watching the game with my mum. Even my mum said to me, yeah, just put on Pogba and Greenwood. I'm like, even my mum figured that out.
There you go.
Even she figured that. Even she was like, yeah, you play Pogba, you play Greenwood, because Greenwood, we know, is a goal threat. He always creates some form of chance, and he almost scored at the end. You bring on Pogba, but no, you double down on your mistake. Play the same way. Then it gets to the hour mark. You bring on Pogba and Greenwood, which they should have started or at least come on at half time. Then all of a sudden we start creating chances. Martial, who everybody's very critical of, but when it's Harry Kane, it's ironic that happened today. When it's Harry Kane with Spurs and Harry Kane's not getting chances, that's not Harry Kane's fault.
Yeah.
That is the team's fault. That's the manager's fault. But when Martial's not getting chances, it's Martial's solely fault. It's solely his fault. Dan James, why he continues to start, I don't know. I don't think he scored a goal since September.
Did you see that cross what he did for Rashford?
Yeah, he overhit it. And
See,
it's a
for
basic
me,
cross.
you
It's a
put
basic
that on the
cross.
floor.
It's a basic cross.
You roll that in on the floor and Rashford
Yeah.
taps it in.
You either roll it in or you hit it on his noggin. And I'm a fan of Dan James, so I don't want to see like I'm bashing him, but he's a squad player. I've said this time and time.
Do you know what he
time
actually
and
reminds
time
me
again.
of?
Who?
It's not even of who. It's like a scenario. It's almost like he won a competition to go and become a footballer.
Yeah.
It's like he's just been picked from the general public.
Yeah.
To me, I don't see any like mad footballer traits in him other than pace.
But he needs coaching. If you give him a trick, just a step over, different player.
I don't know.
I
Just
said
a
I
step
think
over.
you know why now?
Why?
Why
Go
I'm
on.
saying no?
Go on.
Because I feel like you've been at. All right, then either it's United's fault or it's his fault. But I'm not having that. There's not one coach there who can't coach him now. I'm not having that. He's not being told. I'm not having it. I just don't think he's capable. I honestly don't think. You know what I think he is? He's like a like a Sunday League player where they play and they've not got anything great about them. It's just like if they get that, they're quick and they get that chance, or the game has to be suited to him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's just like an instinct thing. It's almost like he doesn't really kick in. He doesn't have an autopilot. That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Dan James doesn't just get the ball and go, all right, I'm just going to cross now for 5 minutes.
But this is what I'm saying. That's where I defend him and say you need coaching, because he's not 26, 27. He's 21. When it comes to experience, he's a baby.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the
Experience,
one
he's
biggest
baby.
thing that's happened to Dan James. He's been criminally mismanaged.
Yes,
and I'll
definitely.
tell you why. He makes that move to Manchester United. His dad then dies. From an outside looking in, I don't see Solskjaer as that go-to figure. I don't see him as a leader. I don't see him as a father figure. I just don't. He's young. His dad was everything to him. He was his agent. He helped him with certain deals. I've lost people. We've all lost people. You can't tell me that doesn't have an effect on you, especially at that high level.
Yes.
When there's eyes on you week in, week out, at the biggest club in the world.
Yeah.
He needs someone to go to. He's not got that. He's got the players.
Yeah.
The players aren't with him all the
But that's
time.
what I'm saying. With James, I don't think he has been coached. All he needs is coaching. Like, because it's new to him. Like we said, even him coming from Swansea, he only played one season in the Championship.
Not even a full
But
one.
but one thing I will say is though, he's 100% correct. There's someone at United who should be coaching him.
Yeah, that's the key word you just said there. Should. But I don't think there is.
Nah, I'm not having it. There's at least someone.
There's got
I'm
to
telling
be.
you, even a player, someone he's on that pitch with, Say, Dan, get down that wing and just put it in. If I'm telling you now, if Dan James, yeah,
We seen Bruno do this though.
what does Traore do?
Yeah, it was just
Traore doesn't do anything spectacular, you know.
Yeah.
He gets down that wing and he crosses it in.
Yeah.
For me, Dan James, you don't even need to play with the rest of the squad. You go play and train, get Igalo, yeah, get De Gea between the sticks, get a defender. You beat this defender every time and you just practice whipping him in all day. Because otherwise, yeah, what is there for Dan James to do? There's nothing. He doesn't have the capability to do actually anything else for us.
You know what you're saying?
Do you get what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
He just needs to sit there and practice crossing the ball and beating a man and cross. Because if he does that,
But it's the beating him on. It's like that's where the trick comes in. Because then he has certain day, he needs a trick, and he has to kick it round the outside. One thing about Traore, physically, obviously, he's better than Dan James, and he does have a trick. Like he will shimmy. Like Dan James won't shimmy. He'll get the ball, kick it down the line, and try to do you.
That's because
And
he's never been taught it.
And this is my point about it.
but bro, nah, you know why I'm not having that? He's never been taught it,
I don't
bro.
think he's been taught it.
Man can do that from school, bro. I'm not having. So
on.
one second. You're telling me this brother's got a pro contract
Yeah.
from running? I'm not in it.
Nah,
I'm
nah,
You know
not
what?
having it.
The reason why, I think that is definitely a possibility.
Nah,
Because
wait,
it's
wait.
You know what? It's like, you know what this is like? Lukaku's first touch. Because and I put that in the same bracket. Lukaku never developed a first touch because he was always bigger, quicker, and stronger than everyone. So he didn't need one. Same way as Dan James. If you're a defender and you don't know how to defend pace, which probably most defenders don't, aside from the top level, you don't need a trick. I'm quicker than you, so I'm just going to kick it past you and run past you. When you get defenders who know how to position themselves, we spoke on Maguire about the goal and things like that. Like, say for instance, a Maldini wasn't the quickest, but he could position himself right. So if you get a defender who's smart enough to position yourself, say for instance a Vertonghen, who's not quick enough but has been around long enough, you're ineffective. Who was he up against? Left back. You played left back for Spurs.
Ben Davis, but,
Ben
but
Davis,
yeah,
bro.
but this is the point that I'm talking
Who he
about.
plays with for Wales. So you're telling me you don't played against my man before? You don't know how to play against
So
him?
yeah, and it's the reverse and the flip. Ben Davies knows exactly how to do against him.
And Ben Davies isn't
knows-
the quickest.
and one thing Ben Davies is going to be coach. Mourinho is going to tell him defend deep. There's a reason Spurs defend deep. Then there's no space for him to go into anyway. I can't remember too many times Ben Davies got forward. Go on, Strong.
Nah, because I was going to say, I've not done my UEFA my badges, but I've done the FA badges. So I remember being sat on certain UEFA or not UEFA, FA coach like thingies, and I've actually trained with lower league teams.
Yeah.
And for example, there was a few wingers who had the attributes similar to Dan James. Of wasn't most spectacular, but would just get to the byline across the ball because they were quick. And what they were told was, play to your strengths, especially at this league. So for example, at Swansea, all the way throughout his youth, he'd have been told, look, you need to play to your strengths. How can you impact the game?
Yeah.
Because they put a lot of onus and reliability on the players. So how, as I'm Dan James, is how can I contribute and do something in this game? I know, get the ball to me, I'll just knock it out my feet, knock it past the winger and put the ball in. Where he's going wrong is the coaching element, is the crossings isn't good enough. His crosses are terrible. He needs to improve his crosses because he can still be effective doing that without a trick if his final delivery is spot on. You look at Traore, last season, that was the one thing that everyone said about him. His delivery wasn't great. Now look at him this season, he's thriving.
And you know what that is? That's Nuno and the coaching staff who've improved that in him. Like, you can see that within a year. Like, it was said last year he only got a single assist.
Yeah.
I think this year he's only behind Trent and De Bruyne in assists.
Yeah.
So if Wolves can do that, why can't Manchester United do that?
No. They've got a lot better of a template to work with in Traore
And
than to
yeah.
James.
That's true. They have a better template.
Like
but
Traore, go on.
they also have sorry to cut you off. They have a better team as well.
Yes.
Traore knows his where his James is. Right, we're just gonna get the ball to you, and it might be Martial up front. It might be a Gallo up front. Like, there's no plan.
But you see, with me, this is what I don't get about James.
Yeah.
It's not even a case of, all right then. We've all played like Sunday League level. For me, even I can't see how he's a winger, which your job is delivery. Your job is to assist. Yeah, you're not a striker. A striker's job. You can't have a striker who can't shoot.
Yeah.
You can't have a defender who can't defend. You can't have a midfielder who can't pass. But how can you have a winger who can't cross?
It was like you said, it's improvements to the game. That's what it is. And you know what it probably was with him at the lower level? Even though his crossing not the best, you know why I think it was? Because he was so quick. He was beating his man 5, 6, 7 times. And even two out of those 7 crosses might be good. But you get goals off of them. So everyone's talking about the 2 assists he got. Not the other 5 crosses that were terrible. At this level, you're not getting that. We talking about the Spurs. At Spurs, the only cross he overhit was the Rashford one. That's the only chance he got.
More to the point, at lower levels, you're told just put it into an area. which isn't. That's not helpful.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this is
go
what
on,
I mean.
last point
He's not
and
even
then
got.
we'll move on to
He's
the
not
things in
even.
the game.
See, it's one of them. Like, all right then. There's many wingers who could be on that right.
Yeah.
They could try to get past you on the right. It's not happening. Boom! I put it on my left. Whip it in. He's not got that even.
not got that.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? He's literally.
I
He's
want your phone.
so one-dimensional that it's hurting him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's only got one dimension, and I can't see how every coach who's come across him hasn't gone, wait, he's got the pace here. For me, the next thing you add in is delivery. He's got to 21 without being able to perfect or have a string to his bow, which is his job.
Yeah,
Do you get what I mean?
That. I hear that. So yeah, going back onto the game. Obviously, it's from a third eye view, people. So we go off on tangents to speak about other things.
Yeah.
But onto it. So when Alka was saying about Oli, once he made the changes, all of a sudden United click into gear. Pogba and Fernandes, that the pass that Fernandes played into Martial, where Eric Dyer blocked it. Yes, Martial should have scored that one. But it's crazy how, and then Martial also had made Lloris make the save, and it's amazing how as soon as Martial has quality behind him, you pop up with 2 chances. Yes, you should have scored the first one. You're a bit rusty, so I give you a blind. But all of a sudden we start creating chances. Greenwood had the one right at the end.
If it went for that save as well, sorry to cut you off. That save was an amazing save by
very good
Lloris.
save.
That
Very
goes
good
in 9 out of 10 times. That
That's what I'm
shot.
saying. And then we're talking about why is he not starting. We've seen, and like onto Pogba, obviously someone said at the top of the show, I think it was Georgia, Pogba walks into the Manchester United team. Now you lot can see why. Came on, was completely like just a level above, and I rate Bruno highly, and Pogba was a level above Bruno.
That
for
pass.
The pass to Rashford, obviously, I think it was it Sissoko we got back in?
No,
No, Sanchez.
Sanchez
Oh
got
my
back in, like,
lord.
that pass tells you all you need to know.
You see that? If Rashford's fit and he's not coming back from that, that's a goal.
Yeah, it's probably a
That's
goal.
a goal because he's through on goal.
Well,
That's it. That just shows you there that Rashford. See, this is one thing as well with Oli, just to go back in it. Rashford should have come off.
That's a fair point.
Rashford should have come off.
He took
Check
off
this one
Martial
out.
and put a Gallo
If
on
you
him.
start, this is where he's messed up.
Yeah.
You start Greenwood on the right.
Yeah.
James comes on for Rashford on the left. Then that's a better game for James.
This is what I'm saying, because he's probably coming. If United start that team that we had on at 60 minutes, United win that game.
Yes.
And that's why I said in the fan
And James comes on and makes a better.
it makes a difference because James is the guy. When you are winning, that's when you want James on. When
Yes.
they're spacing behind on the counter attack, James is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Regardless, because then they would have to press. Because I said on the fan cam, Oli cost United those 2 points because he made basic errors. The lineup was wrong. Then he made the wrong substitutions. 2 fatal errors, and it's not difficult. You play your best 11. People talk about, Pogba was injured. I give you a blind on that. But then once you're 1-0 down, you bring him on at 45 minutes. Why Greenwood's not starting ahead of James, I don't know. He's a better goal threat. He's more creative. So Clay, and then James, I believe, would be exceptional off the bench with his pace. So that's why I was fuming. Oli cost us those 2 points. I knew those 2 points could potentially cost United top 4 because all the teams around United dropped points. Everybody dropped points that first weekend.
You know what I didn't understand as well?
Go on.
Bringing on Igalo. I didn't understand that.
I didn't get it. Martial's in the game to me.
Yeah, he's
Martial's
just
in the
kicked
game.
on. You know what
Martial's
I mean?
in the game.
And he's not had that much to do in the first half, so you can't tell me he's tired.
Yes.
I
You get what I'm saying?
understood bringing a Gala on at half time if he was going to do it, purely because, and everyone's rusty. We're going to get into other games where you can see players are rusty. My criticism of Martial in the first half was purely his hold-up play. That was it. You give him the service, he's going to score and he's going to make chances.
Very good as well.
Yeah, but it comes down to everyone's rusty, and that's the only reason why I was slightly critical of him. So if he was going to make a change of that ilk, I can understand why he would have brought in a Gala one, whose hold-up play is phenomenal, by the way. That makes sense.
Yeah.
From a managerial point of view, that makes sense. Don't bring him on when he brought him on. That makes no sense whatsoever.
That's what I'm saying. And like JV said, that's a great point. If you start Greenwood ahead of James, once Rashford tires you, then bring on James for Rashford.
And more to the point.
Imagine James
Yeah.
on that Pogba pass. He's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
That's
gone.
Yeah.
There's no catching him.
If he does get, that's very like that's the last player you want to see come on as a defender once you're tired.
If anything,
is Dan James.
check this one out. Actually, here's a point.
Yeah.
That's what we need to start doing with James.
What impacts him?
Not even impact sub. If you're gonna play James,
give
him a through ball.
Stop all this interference.
Give him a through ball. He can't beat a man. So if I give him a through ball and tell him to run onto it, and he has to just knock it across the goal, look, we need to start playing to people's strengths.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? There's no point in you don't see Pep saying to David Silva,
running behind.
Yeah,
run the channels. But
not happening.
that comes down to 2 things. One, what's going on with the game, and number 2, patterns of play.
Three, the manager,
Yeah,
management.
management. That's what I'm saying. Management patterns of play, but that's what it is. So before we move on from this, we'll go into Keane's points.
No, wait, before you do that, because
go
there's
on.
one
Go on, last one, go on.
key point which none of us have discussed.
Yeah, last one on it.
So you mentioned the Dan James coming on,
Yeah.
and why he should have come on.
Yeah.
One thing we've not talked about
Go on,
is Ollie's not learned from his mistakes again.
go on.
That if Rashford gets injured at that point, when he's already tired, he's coming back from an injury where you've notoriously overplayed him, got the back injury anyway.
Yeah.
When are you going to learn from your mistakes?
Yeah. That's a very valid point because people are quick to defend Pogba and say, "Oh, Pogba shouldn't play because of long injury." But Rashford's okay to come back in and play.
I'm more. Yeah. Why is he playing 90 minutes?
Because
what
for
are you
me,
doing to the lad?
I know I keep going back to this pass, but if you look at that pass
Yeah.
and you see when Rashford took his first touch,
Yeah.
he was how can I put it? He was like withdrawn, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he was holding
took
back.
his touch. Yes,
Yeah.
holding back. That's the term I was looking for. He was holding back because for me, he might have already felt something.
Could be.
Why would you not? I'm telling you now, the player Rashford is. If he's feeling okay, he goes for that 100%. You could see he's not. He's
not
just tried
there.
to take. You know what I think he's tried to do is try to take a touch, wait for the guy to maybe run past, and then he can have a shot.
Cutting or something.
Yeah, do you get what I mean? Otherwise, he just darts onto it, doesn't he?
Yeah, I get what you're
Because
saying.
he's probably feeling something. What, back injury, and you playing what?
Yeah.
What was it like? Well, he played the full 90, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he played full night.
There you go.
That's
So
what I mean.
yeah, on to Keane's comments. I think I tweeted this at the time. I said I completely agree with his thoughts on the goal. I was as mad as he was, like, because I was fuming.
I've missed Roy
Still
Keane.
fuming now. Obviously, the rest of it was funny though when he's like, "I'd be swinging punches." I'd be swinging. This guy said on live national TV, "I'll be swinging punches at David De Gea."
In the changing room
Yeah, in the changing room
and in the car park.
Yeah, in the car park.
He'd have to get a taxi home.
I
and
get
all
a
that.
taxi back. I seen I retweeted it actually. I was laughing about it. Evra did a video and he
You
pulled
see
up
it?
In the taxi.
he pulled up in the taxi. And Keane was spot on. Even though he was funny and in what he said in terms of the taxi part and the swinging punches, he was spot on with that. And that goes back to my point before we move on. There is zero accountability at Manchester United. And because there's zero accountability, fans will criticize me for talking like this. And
No,
say,
it is.
"Oh, I'm being negative." One sec, being negative and all this ready. Like, I influence it. No, I don't accept mediocrity. I don't accept people not learning from mistakes. I don't accept
People repeating the same mistakes.
yeah, people being in poor form. De Gea's going to start the next game. Maguire, I'll give you a blight to. Okay.
Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw's going to start the next game.
Nah, he
See what I'm
can't.
talking about? Luke Shaw will start the next game.
He cannot start Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw will start it. Dan James, I reckon, will start the next game. I have zero faith in this manager. What did I say when we was on the football terrace talking about United? I said United's team first 11 is good enough to finish top 4. The problem is the manager. And you know what's going to happen? United are probably going to finish 5th. City are going to get their ban, and then we're going to sneak into the Champions League. Because if he doesn't get in the top 4, he should be sacked. I want him gone now. You know what I mean? I want him gone now. I've
You
had
know
enough.
what? I was thinking,
I'm
you know.
up to it. Like, it just brought it all back. You
Yeah.
know when you get bad memories when you're
Yeah.
watching something? I'm watching this, and I'm like, the lineup's all wrong. And then you don't make the changes at halftime. And then you make the changes 60 minutes.
You know
and
what's so
we
mad?
almost won the game. Like, how is your in-game management so bad? Even Mourinho, who we spoke on in depth on today's show, is not in his pump. Made the change. Brought on Pogba. United got a couple of chances. He was like, all right, let me change this and make 2 subs.
He brought
Reacting.
off his 2 attacking
Yeah.
players and brought on 2 centre
Why
midfielders.
is Ollie so slow to react to what's going on? I'm not no tactical genius, even though I proclaim to be. I'm no tactical genius. Why can you? We can be on TV. We can be watching the game on TV. You can tell I'm just really irritated by this. We can be watching on TV and you can see a game swing in momentum.
Yes.
Like when Pogba and Greenwood came on, you seen the game swing in momentum. Mourinho didn't wait 10, 15 minutes for Spurs to concede 2 goals. No, he changed it. Obviously, Pogba produced some magic and United got back in the game. But we was pressing them. There was only one team that was going to win that game, but then it's 2 points dropped.
You know how mad it is, bro? Even, I swear down, you know when you say, it brings back
I'm
bad
just
memories
talking
and that.
about it. Go on.
Even, I swear to you, I was raging at the telly, yeah? Even my missus goes, oh, I don't miss this. You know what I'm saying? That's what she said. She missed me watching. She's getting mad because I'm getting mad at the telly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
She's
get
like, oh, I ain't missed this. Jeez, I've not seen you do this for a few months. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's mad when I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking, yo, it's mad that even someone who's not into the football can see what it's doing. Do you get what I'm saying?
This is what I'm saying.
And that's why I say to you, I almost think it's too much for him. I think he's too much of a. He gets too struck. He's like, I think he sits there every time and he's watching the players go out and he's like, you know what I'm saying?
Is what it is. Hopefully, from a United fan perspective, I know Stroll's loving this. United will improve. But all right, where we'll go to next is something that brightened up the whole footballing world,
Wait,
the whole of social media
before we
world.
go on to Banter FC,
Yeah.
to go through them, let's just talk about Wednesday, when football came back and the issues that football had when football came back.
Oh, you want to go VAR? All right.
Yeah,
go,
because it
go.
segues into the.
Yeah, go.
So, Aston Villa, Sheffield United, one, awful game to start off the return of football. Let's be honest, terrible. Secondly, so for those that have been in the bubble and not watched the game, Sheffield United challenging for top four. Sheffield United get a free kick. Now they whip this ball in, and it's one of them where if you get in front of the keeper,
Yeah.
potentially glance it, it can go anywhere. The keeper's in no man's land. Now, Nyland, the Aston Villa keeper's lightweight as it is, he actually catches the ball. Fair play to him. Didn't do that against Manchester City, but that's here or there. Catches the ball and actually bounces into the striker at the time. He then bounces back behind his line and falls into the side netting.
Yep.
I could see from sat at my telly, about 5 metres away from my telly, it was a goal. The linesman can see it's a goal. The two managers, Chris Wilder and the Aston Villa manager, can see it's a goal.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually felt sorry for a referee for the first time in my life. You see Michael Oliver
Go on, elaborate.
looking down, and he's looking at his technology, and it's going, it's not a goal, nothing's coming up. What happens then is he then blows for half time,
Yeah.
goes down the tunnel, walks into his dressing room, sits down, probably has a bit of Lucozade in the water, and his watch goes off, telling him it's a goal. Because, you know, like, for example, when...
Oh, man. Yeah, go on. Keep going.
You know, for example, when, like, you look at your phone and you're on, like, 5% battery, and you see it plugged in the wall, so you just plug it in quickly, you go do something, come back, it's on 5%, can you not flick the switch?
That's
exactly
a
what happened with
fantastic
VAR.
analogy.
That's exactly what happened. Who gets paid this amount of money? How is it that difficult to not turn VAR on?
Nah, man.
On goal line technology,
Well,
it
it's
is
because-
awful.
What happened?
He was on furlough. That's why he went there, bro. He was
Yeah,
on
on
furlough.
furlough still.
Yeah, man, he was still on furlough. And
Catching
that.
that 80%.
Probably not even a football fan, so he didn't have all the hype and that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. The football one might be a bit lower in that kind of wages. He might be on a little 65% or something. Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. There's too many problems for how that don't work, and then we're all expecting VAR to be the problem, and then that don't work. It just shows you.
Yeah,
what
that's
the
what I mean.
problems
But listen, goal
the
line
FA and
technology
everything.
How?
could have got away with it. Hawkeye and goal line technology could have got away with it if VAR stepped in. And let me just state the rules for those that
Go on.
VAR for clear and obvious errors.
There you go.
The fact that goal went in and you can clearly see it's behind the line. I mean, I've got some brilliant still shots of the keeper's face as he's holding the ball behind the side
Keeper
netting,
was literally chilling in the side.
He was
net.
in the- you know what I'm saying?
catching a tan.
You
Like,
know how sick it was? He's caught it, but in his head he's like, oh, he's
Yeah,
in.
it's
You know what I'm
in.
saying? You could see it in his face,
Yeah.
like, oh, he's in. You know what I'm saying?
how is that not a clear and obvious error? What are VAR doing? Like, who's sat up at Stockley Park looking at it going, oh, that's not a clear and obvious
St.
error?
George's Park is closed. They on furlough.
Yeah,
still,
man, it's
yeah.
on
They
furlough thing, man.
They on furlough.
There was social distancing.
Yeah, they were
Social distancing.
He was at home. He was at home watching it, like, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be in. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened with that one.
And then,
Here's the thing, big Premier League. Sorry to cut you off. Premier League return. You've had 3 months.
Yeah.
Somebody make sure that the Hawkeye's plugged in.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying?
it's just-
Oh, that's what they did.
Just-
Oh, I know it. Right, I've got it. You see, when my office shut, we unplugged everything out, didn't we?
Yeah, okay.
We went back in, like the day after. Remember when Boris did the speech and that? We went in the day after and we plugged everything out, innit? The man didn't go back in and plug everything in.
but-
so-
Check is plugged
yeah,
in.
you know
it's
what I'm
just,
saying?
it's
Turn off the
literally-
heating and that, you know what I'm saying? You know, the little bits, just flick off all the light switches, plug that out.
That's what I'm saying. You know, when you're a business owner and you walk into your shop, you make sure everything's switched on, the lights, the heating,
Yeah.
the essentials. VR and Hawkeye, goal talent technology, is essential to the Premier League. We have fought for so long since the Frank Lampard goal that didn't get given in the World Cup to get goal line technology.
12 years ago, by the way. 12 years ago.
The fact that it took this long is a shambles.
Yo.
And then it's just like, what are we doing? And then, just to segue on, we then move on to Sideshow Bob and the David Luiz show.
Oh,
What
yeah.
an incredible performance that was, by the way.
Say even Farris said the keeper was catching a vibe at the side net. The keeper was legit. Sorry to cut you off. That's too funny. No, the keeper was literally. I seen the still shots. The keeper was literally in the side netting with the ball.
Vibe, you know?
Catching a vibe. Like you said, the keeper knew it was a goal. He's like, alright. He's literally in. His shoulder is in the side net. Like
his whole body language is like, oh,
He's in
you know
the
what I'm
side
saying?
net. But yeah, on segue into Sideshow Bob.
So-
Banner FC.
so-
What did you call Arsenal earlier?
Arsenal.
So, basically, listen, we all seen the clips pre-season of David Luiz trying to do kick-ups and then conceded
against
a goal
Brentford,
against Brentford.
yeah.
So then they ask Arteta, why is David Luiz not in the team and why is Murray in the team? And it's based on previous performances, it's word for word what he said, or based on previous something. But it was basically alluding to that game. Xhaka gets injured, so they have to make a substitution.
Yeah.
And Murray gets injured.
Yeah.
And then you see David Luiz now.
Mhm.
Obviously can't swear on radio,
Yeah.
but you've seen from his face he was about to
I
mess
know,
stuff
did you
all the
see
way
his
up.
face,
Yeah,
bro?
he was smiling, wasn't he? He
Nah,
was smiling, wasn't he?
that was vicious. I'm not even gonna lie. From his face, I knew he was gonna do a madness,
He was like,
but I
I'm-
didn't expect that level.
I'm
not
gonna-
be here. Go on.
I'm
go on,
gonna echo what I've made on previous shows. It's match fixing from Everton and David Luiz. If Everton had paid them the large fee for the 50 million they got for John Stones, because he knew he was going to mess stuff up the second he came onto that pitch, and lo and behold, it's a simple ball.
Yeah.
Go with your left foot. What's that?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
What's that?
It's very easy to deal
At
with.
a crucial time of the game, just before half time.
Yeah.
And then they come back from half time.
Yeah.
As a manager, I know Arteta said something to him, get your head in the game, do something.
Yeah.
Just let him go. And you bring him down, you get yourself sent off. You've been on the pitch, 31 minutes? And you've contributed massively to the game.
Sorry.
He was Manchester City's man of the match. He doesn't even play for Manchester City.
He was Manchester City's man.
It's
What
shocking, you know.
what are
You know
we
what?
doing?
That could be argued still. He probably was their man of the match.
You know what? We need to
That's
add him
what
to
he
the
was.
bargain bin. We need
What,
to add
bargain
him.
bin Brazilian?
We need to add him. He's the primary.
He's
He's
the-
the primary bargain bin.
Oh, nah,
Brazilian.
there's another
You know
donkey
what?
I'm
We need to
discussing
cook-
later.
You know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna get a prop. You know, I'm gonna get a little bin.
Yeah,
And it's gonna go yasso. Gonna go right here. Yeah.
And it's gonna be yellow blue. He's yellow
I'm
and
gonna say
blue.
bargain bin Brazilian, and each week I'm gonna drop a name in. Yeah. Who's big? But him, obviously, you know what it is with him now.
Go on.
I've said this for a while.
Yeah.
And I said this, I tweeted it out. I said people need to start naming the kids with Brazilian names because you're giving them a chance to have a football career.
He's got David Luiz.
Yeah, David Luiz. Bro, he's called David Lewis. He's David Lewis, mate. He's David Lewis. You know what I'm saying? I seen someone tweet that, I said, yeah, he's David. I said, yo, it's for real. And I deeped it and I thought, you know what? Pereira's probably just called Andrew Pearson or something. About Andy Pereira, Andreas Pereira. Andrew Pearson. Yo, start naming your kids
He
fancy
is
Brazilian
Andy- he is
names, yeah?
literally Andy
Just
Pearson,
give him
yeah.
some sort of fancy hair and that. Yeah, and we can start getting careers going because there's no way that the career he's had is mad, you know. If you look at the names of the teams he's played for, man's played for Chelsea
But-
twice,
Yeah.
PSG,
Yeah.
Arsenal, Brazil World Cup. You know what I'm
Brazil
saying?
World Cup is a key point. He was a key part in that 7-0 massive defeat
'Cause people
in
forget-
Brazil.
Yeah, in Brazil, Thiago Silva was suspended for that game. People forget that.
David Luiz was in there. So then we go from the David Luiz show.
See, even
to the-
Stefan B here says, I presume you're French. He said, I watched the game. I know, I'm presuming you're French just by the Stefan B, but I could be wrong. My apologies if I am. I just presumed you was French. I watched the game in Paris when Louise was there. He's even funny alive. Well, I could imagine. I just want to say, people, to everybody listening, when Stroh was talking about match fixing, the views are from a third eye view, the views are from a
here we
third
go,
eye view.
Mr. PR.
I'm not Pie Radio.
So
continue.
so then we go from that, which is hilarious, by the way. Manchester City did exactly what they needed to do, played some good football. De Bruyne pulling strings again. Foden looked good when he came on, but they're down to 10 men at that point, and it's Arsenal. So then they go into the Brighton game. Now,
Just one quick point on that. For me, City looked like they didn't even have a break, yo.
No.
I was quite blown away by
they
City.
did.
They were like
But that's because
on job.
that goes back into systems that is ingrained in their DNA. Everybody who plays under Pep at Manchester City does the same job. That's my biggest problem. I don't want to go back into United with Oli. If you play left back for Pep, it doesn't matter if you're Benjamin Mendy, Zinchenko, Kolarov, whoever's playing left back, his left back does the same thing. His right back does the same thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're Mahrez, Sterling or Sané. You do the same movement. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're Jesus or Aguero. you play like this.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why, and that's easy to remember. It's like muscle memory when you're pumping weights. It's the same.
Just kicks in.
Just kicks in. All right, when the central midfielder gets the ball, right, the left wing is going to make a run that way, the right wing is going to make a run that way, and the striker is going to come short. Doesn't matter who three are there. As soon as you pick up the ball as the central midfielder, you already know who's there. So that's why it looked like City didn't miss a beat. Like, they were a bit slow at times, and getting off the rust. But once they clicked into gear, it was a wrap.
Once they clicked into gear, you could
ridiculously good. Oh Lord, those two. Jeez.
You know what? Just a quick one. They're gonna miss Silva.
Yeah.
See, I not even a hope, but I know. See, with him missing that opportunity with not replacing Company, they're getting a world beater to replace David Silva.
Definitely.
Like
Definitely.
even if he wasn't going now, you'd know you have to get one anyway. People are saying it might be Bernardo Silva. They might be, but I think they might even make sure they get
It depends.
ready-made.
It depends on the UEFA ruling.
Yes, true.
Because this could be a mass exodus. Sane is not renewing his contract, and he looks like he's on his way to Bayern Munich. That's a massive
I'd love to
loss.
see Man United, but I hear you.
So we obviously went on to that, and then obviously you come to the weekend. A lot of football fans have been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
Full Saturday football, full Sunday football. Let's get an accumulator out.
Yeah.
Ooh, Leeds look good. Put 5 on Leeds. Let's also put Arsenal in there as well. What a mistake that was, by the way.
Hey, if you're putting any money on Arsenal and accumulator away from home to a top 6, just give me your money.
No. This was the funny
Go
thing.
on.
So obviously, best dad, Leeds fan.
Yeah.
Had an accumulator with Leeds, Arsenal, and I even said to him, "When Arsenal?" He went, "Yeah, but," I was like, "No, it's Arsenal."
Yeah, it's Arsenal.
And then I reminded him as they went down 2-1 that everyone said it was Arsenal. This is Arsenal. Banter Football Club.
Banter FC.
So obviously, listen, Mopé is a yellow card. It's not a red card.
Oh, you going on to the Brighton game?
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
It's a yellow card.
Shout out Mopé and the other Brighton striker linking up like a prime York and Cole.
Oh,
Man, do you want me to
it was
flick it?
phenomenal.
Went past, but go on. Continue.
So then,
Yeah.
listen, Nicolas Pepe was known for running past Van Dijk. Well done. 72 million when you could have just spent it on renewing that back line, because your back line needs some serious help.
We definitely need defenders. Yeah.
And listen, Leno, excellent against Manchester City. It could have been 5 or 6 if it wasn't for Leno. And it's an unfortunate injury.
Yes, it is very.
It is an unfortunate injury. But listen, to echo some of the stuff that was said by Robbie on Arsenal Fan TV is, how are you as men and as players letting Mopé, as a result of that, if you feel so aggrieved with Guendouzi, how are you then letting him go and score the winning goal to then drop you into the bottom 10?
You're marking him. Like, if that's an old school Arsenal, old school United, old school Chelsea, you're now a marked man. Now you've injured one of our players. The right back's gonna kick you. The left back's gonna kick you.
Look at how Keane reacted. Look at how Keane reacted to Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Look at that reaction.
You're gonna get kicked.
It wasn't just him, no. There was 6 of him round him, and he let him know.
The Arsenal, people forget, or they might not know, Arsenal were one of the dirtiest teams.
And they were a horrible team to play against.
That back four.
Because under Wenger, I remember their disciplinary record was one of the worst.
Yeah, because they had character, they had leaders, they had
Literally,
fight.
look at the back four. They had Dixon, Keown, Adams,
Winterburn.
Yeah. Then later it comes
And
to
even
Ashley Cole.
people forget
Ashley
even
Cole
the
was
Ray
nasty.
Parlour.
Even Ray Parlour, that's who.
Yeah,
I was gonna
then that's
say.
what I'm saying. They had in midfield. It was either
Seaman had a
Parlour-
nasty streak.
It was either Parlour, Petit, or Vieira.
Yeah, and even what's his called? Even though he was cultured, could get nasty. Gilberto Silva.
Oh, no, Gilberto was nasty as well. I forgot about him. He was nasty.
Perez could get nasty. Lundberg had a nasty
Henry
streak. And
was nasty,
Henry
bro.
Bergkamp could leave a foot in.
People forget that.
Yeah,
Bergkamp was
because
very-
Bergkamp was very gracious with it.
Yeah, but you look at that though. They've got a spine. They've got men.
Yeah.
They've got characters. I look at this Arsenal team. It's full of boys.
Nah, literally, there's not one man. Kolasinac looks like a tank. Yeah, but then when he gets on the pitch,
Non-existent,
he looks
he
like a tank
throws
of jelly
it,
or
yeah.
something. He made of
Which is
jelly.
crazy. When they got attacked, when him and Elza got attacked, and it was knives. You was about it. You
Man's
jumped
back
out.
in the beef, you know,
jumped out
fam.
'cause someone
Yeah,
jumped
but
out
man
and
So
knife
man's
him.
backing it when it's knives, but then when it's studs, he's flapping it. You know what I mean? Studs, oh my god. You know what I mean? You see the different type of blade.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You see the blade, knife blade. When man got the blades in the foot, yeah, he's You get what I'm saying?
That's
Mad.
very
I think he's. You know what?
Yeah.
They literally need a clear out. For me,
Oh,
they're
mass clear
stupid.
out.
They're stupid for not selling Aubameyang when he's given these signs that he's not. Sell him.
They should have sold him last season.
They
and
should
got the
sell
money.
him,
They should have
and
cashed him.
they need to start cashing in on some of these players. And I think, you know what? You know what the funniest thing is? Do you know who they need to hire now? Arsene Wenger. No. He would come in. No, listen to me. He'd come in.
I'm gonna let you make your argument.
He'll come in, yeah? And they need someone now who's going to build a philosophy. That's the one thing that happened with them. They got rid of Wenger. This is why I call him Farsenal. Yeah? Because I'll use the dictionary terms. It's a farce in terms of the English dictionary, it's a farce of what they're doing at the club. And the Arsenal as well, because the farce for getting rid of the manager, Wenger. You get me? For me, that's the worst thing they should have ever done.
Here's the thing. The reason why I don't think it's the worst thing that's ever done, they've just not done... Arsenal are like similar to United in terms of their hierarchy's not good. Whoever's buying their players is like not doing their job. And also, Wenger's like Mourinho in terms of Wenger was done at the highest level.
I don't know.
Like,
I think if we had
the top 6 record that they have didn't start with Arteta or start with Emery. Like, it started with Wenger. Like, they weren't gonna put it this way. Arsenal are trying to get back to the top. They weren't gonna win any. Wenger was done at the top level. Wenger's done at. He never won a Champions League. The last Champions League final he reached was 2006. The last time he won a Premier League was what, 04? He's one of them. Yes, he'll win you a FA Cup or a League Cup, but in terms of challenging for major trophies, same way Mourinho's done, Wenger's done. Wenger at international makes sense.
You know what it is? I think they made Wenger like that by whoever was above him, by doing all the leaving Highbury and getting this new ground, and they not got money for players. And then when you do get money,
he wasn't aided at times. I agree with that. He didn't help himself though. But
no, he didn't help himself. But I think his situation. It's a good point you've made there. Arsenal and United are very similar.
Yes.
But I honestly think the difference with us is Fergie went. We would have never pushed Fergie. Those fans baited for Wenger's blood.
And I understand that, because if I'm where Wenger was at, and I don't want a league title for 10+ years, if Fergie, who I love, greatest manager of all time, was at United and he left in 2014. Yeah, it was 2014. 2013. Sorry. Fast forward to say 2023. If Fergie hadn't won a league title, then I'm like, all right, Fergie, you gotta go. You're done.
Nah, we wouldn't.
I'm saying me. I'm not giving you 10+ years.
No. What I'm saying is, it would be so different from the fan base. They turned on him. They literally. What they've got to understand is they turned. You got to think they turned on someone who made their club.
That's true, because it's like how. That's what gives you a bly. So instead of giving him, I would give a manager probably 3 years. With Fergie, it would take me a while longer. That's why people defend Oli now, because not in terms of him being a legend as a manager, as a player, what he did for us, he's arguably got, alongside the Ryan Giggs goal against Arsenal in the semi-final, the most iconic goal in Fergie's reign. Like, it's one that sticks out to everybody. So people defend him because of that. But what are you doing? I'm all about the now. What are you doing now?
I'm with you.
What are you doing now? Was the Wenger thing I get? If Fergie hadn't won a title in 10 years, you gotta go. Like,
you know what though?
I'm giving you a push because it's Fergie. I wouldn't give him 10 years, but I'd probably give him, because it's Fergie and he could bring it back, I'd probably give him 5.
Yeah, but there's a reason why they turned on him, because some Arsenal fans wanted him to go out because they knew there was going to be a rebuilding process, and they felt like they delayed it. And part of the reason they're in the mess that they're in now, some Arsenal fans attribute that to Wenger not leaving on time. Because you look at Klopp, it took him 3-4 years. They've not got the same amount of money as Pepsi. They can't just buy the success. They've not got the same amount of funds as United and Chelsea, because Kroenke's too busy sorting out LA Rams spending $5 billion on the stadium. So there's going to be a massive rebuilding process.
But that's my point. That rebuild.
Last point on it.
That rebuild should have been left with Wenger, because everyone who you've bought in, check this, everyone who you've bought in after Wenger is as bad Wenger was.
I love that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Here's the thing is with Arteta, he has got, I think he's actually a good coach. Obviously, I've defended him on here before, and I think he is a good coach. But you could put prime Mourinho in front. I think you could put prime Fergie with the Arsenal team in the hierarchy. The team is just not good enough. It's not like United. The reason why I'm so critical of Oli at United, because you have the players. Arteta does not have the players.
But you know what I think it is with Arteta? It's what I said when everyone knew was saying Arteta. I said, nah. I said, that's a bubble. I told you that was a bubble. Arteta had his bubble.
Enough.
That's what I think. I think that bubble's burst now. Because there's not enough. There's not enough quality there. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes when you have that bubble, some of the quality players start thinking, right, this is a bit, this might be a bubble.
You can see he's made fundamental mistakes. In the past 2 games, you can see he's making mistakes. Brighton being one of them. He made some serious mistakes there. Substitutions were awful.
Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why I'll give Arteta a bly in terms of in-game management is your first job.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, that's why I'm like, right, you're new to this. So if you make basic errors, I understand, and I'd be understanding as a United fan. Whereas the reason why I'm so harsh on Oli is because you've been managing 10 years.
More to the point, Arteta looks like the kind of person from his playing career that isn't going to make the same mistake twice.
He'll learn from his mistake. He'll be like, all right, he's just assessing, I think, with Arsenal what he needs. And I think if you get him what he needs, similar to Pep, I'm not saying he'll be as good as Pep or as successful as Pep, but I think if you get him what he needs, he'll figure it out. Because
Yeah.
he's not, as far as I know, the reason why I'm not writing him off yet, because he hasn't had a transfer window.
Yeah, that's
not
why he's
been
playing a
able to
lot of
get
them youth. Have you noticed
Yeah,
that
'cause
recently?
he's
Because
like,
I think
alright,
he's
let's
done
see.
with them other guys, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's like, let's see. So Georgiev says here, just back to the YouTube comments quickly. Yes, thank you, Flawless Systems. Farid says Arsenal apparently linked with Joe Hart with laughing faces.
That's their
all
level,
my
though.
days.
That's their level now.
Nah, Leno's definitely better than Joe Hart.
No, but I'm saying Joe Hart is Arsenal level.
Oh yeah, shout out Josh here. Josh says we have to thank the Gooners for getting Pepe. Now we can go get Jaden. Let's hope you're all right. Farid says Mikel Arteta is a quality coach. JV. I don't know if you saw my thread on Twitter on him.
No, I'll look it up. I'll look it
Check
up,
it
brother.
out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Gooners fans bite the hand that fed them.
Yeah, man. Trust
It's one
me.
of them, yo. I'm what you did for me lately. If you ask, you can be successful for 20, 30 years, but once you are no longer successful for
But you see what it
an
is?
extended period of time, I'm like, all right, you've had your time. Let's go.
With them squads, what he had though, he was still winning them FA Cups and that.
Yeah, he'll still win him.
They have to.
Yeah.
You know what? Arsenal fans have to be. There's not one of them now who can tell me getting rid of Wenger has put them in a better position. It's not. They're worse off.
Nah, it's not. But that's more so not on Wenger. That's more so on the decisions that have been made after. If they all they've done is they've missed out on the serious operators. If they get a Simeone straight after Wenger, they're in a much better position. If they get an Allegri who they were linked with, this is not happening.
Yeah. That is the mess up for me.
If they get an
That's what
Ancelotti,
it
they let
is.
Ancelotti go to Everton.
There you go. And you know what? Speaking of that, that's exactly where we'll go. That's a lovely segue. We'll talk about the Merseyside derby as well. So, not the greatest of games. 0-0. I really think Ancelotti, I've spoken on him highly, quality operator. Can't believe United let him go to Everton. Never mind Arsenal. But quality operator. And what it is, we spoke about no fans. And I think that is the biggest game that has been affected by no fans
Yeah.
because no way does Ancelotti. I'm not criticising the way he played, by the way, because you can't go toe-to-toe with Liverpool with that Everton side. He played 4-4-2, give him his credit. You can't sit back like that at Goodison in the Merseyside derby. The fans are not going to allow you to do that. And bear in mind, he played 4-4-2, and I've seen the four in midfield. He had Gomez, Tom Davies, Gordon, some new guy, Gordon, who played right side, and then Iwobi. That's your four, and you got Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up front. I'm like, he played it perfectly. This is what I'm saying. You have a system, and you might not have better players than the opposition, which Everton don't to Liverpool, but you can affect the game. That's what he did.
Do you know what he did as well? He analysed the occasion.
Yes.
Like he said, he realised there's going to be no fans.
Yes.
I probably can't do this on any other day.
This is what I'm
You know
saying.
what I mean? But I can do this right now. Do you
And
know
it
what I mean?
almost worked. And if Richarlison squares the ball
Yeah.
to Iwobi, like he should have, because I'm just not a fan of Richarlison at all. Like, if he squares it to him, they win that game, and everyone's talking, oh, Ancelotti masterclass. But that's the difference.
Yeah.
So imagine, the reason why I'm worried about Everton is because once I think he gets his players in, and it's not even a little black book, he's got a big black book. You know what I mean? It's massive. All he needs is 3 or 4 players. And I could see them raising up the league, especially with the money. Go on, Shro. What's your thoughts on it? I know you were mad about the way they play. Go on, innit? Get your rant off.
No,
I had mine before.
No, I'm not mad about the way they played. It's listen,
Go on.
Everton.
What's your thoughts on the game first before you go into that?
We were there for the taking. If there's ever a time to catch Liverpool, it's when Salah's injured, not starting. Robertson, not starting. Milner then comes off, who is notorious our number 2 to Robertson. Gomez hasn't played left back for 3 years.
Okay.
You then bring Dejan. Don't even get me started on this man. I'll come on to this man in a minute. You then bring that absolute clown and donkey on the
Who, the
pitch.
Croatian David Luiz, as you called him earlier.
Nah, he is literally. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if David Luiz is the Brazilian Dejan Lovren. That's how bad I rate this man. He is an awful defender, and to think he had the nerve and the cheat to go himself the world's best defender a year and a half ago, shambles. But we were there for the taking. I felt sorry for Minamino. He looked good for the first 20 minutes.
Sorry.
I felt sorry for him because, listen, the game is you need to get the ball into his feet, into effective areas. He's not a right winger. He never should have started on the right. Origi should have been starting, if anything, because Origi can play more direct.
I actually thought I was Origi up.
So
Okay.
there's that. I thought Keita had an excellent game. Keita looked like the one bright spark, which I knew from the games that he's
He
leading up
looks
to
like
anyway.
like he's finally fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, which is a good thing for us because you looked at the 1-2s who playing the edge of the box. He was someone who could turn. I mean, he turned and Andre Gomez and literally sent him back to injury at one point. Like, he just sent him to the stands with that nice little turn on the halfway line. But we were there for the taking. We really were, even in the last 10 minutes.
Yes.
And the reason why is because Dejan Lovren came onto the pitch.
Yeah, Deja Lovren.
Why is that man near any top 6 football club? Why is that man near any international team? Why is that man near any Premier League team? Why is that man not a Championship player?
You know
He is
why?
awful. What is he doing?
Klopp saved his career. Klopp's gonna make, if he wins the league, well, obviously he's gonna win this league. He's gonna be a hero in Croatia.
Remove that man. Like, take that medal off him. The man does
He's
not
gonna be a
deserve
hero.
it.
He'll be a hero in Croatia. He'll be a hero. He'll
But
go
yeah.
down as a good player when he's really
What I
not.
thought, looking Liverpool, obviously, like you said, no Robertson, no Salah. Did this show why Klopp was trying to sign Werner? And does it back up the fact that we said, what we spoke about in the past in terms of Liverpool needing backup and having to improve
Yes.
to make sure they kick on next season?
I
I wouldn't say it worries you as a Liverpool fan, but I'm saying, is it a concern? Like, are you you don't want Liverpool to not sign anybody
No.
in this next transfer?
So I'm not majorly concerned. Reason being is because I think playing Minamino on the right is a mistake. It is a big mistake. If you play Minamino in a number 10, he affects the game more.
Right. So you think he got the system wrong? But
Yeah,
what
I think he got. Yeah, no, exactly. But I think he got the system wrong. Why is he not playing Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right from the beginning? When Oxlade-Chamberlain had his best game at Liverpool against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, he finished before the breakdown. He was excellent.
Right.
I think. Listen, I can't question Klopp. What he's done, like, I will love that man forever. Like, to the point where I might get a statue of him in my garden. Like, I love him that much.
Might get a statue of him.
like I love the man. Like I love the man. Honestly, I can't criticise him, but I think his substitutions were questionable yesterday. And listen, I love the man, but he shouldn't have brought Keita off. But then again, I can understand why, given his injury record.
Yeah.
Oxlade-Chamberlain should have started. He should have, or Origi should have started. Minamino then should have been the player that's coming on for a Firmino, because he can play that similar role, and that's why he was playing in pre-season. But Everton, man, like, they've just got this complex, and they just do everything just to. I don't understand them as a club. I really don't. It's like, this is how petty they are.
Go on.
Our main stand is huge. It's the biggest one stand in Europe.
Right.
They've then built a little thing, so then if you sat at a certain point in Goodison, you can't then see the main stand. That's petty.
Nah, I read
What-
that petty.
Yeah, but everything you're doing is counted around what Liverpool are doing.
Yeah, that's wrong. I like the stand thing. I get that. I understand that. Like, if I looked out of my way, if I was living in Liverpool and I looked out and could see Anfield, like, them curtains are permanently shut.
Yeah, but
You know
but
why though? It's war. It's war. You've got to think of it as it's war.
Yeah,
it's very
that part,
smart.
like,
It's
that
very
part,
smart
like,
what
but in
they're
terms
doing.
of, I get what you're saying. You're spot on in terms of everything centered around you, like the whole Richarlison dribble past.
yeah, what's
Van
that?
Dijk.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just stop that for a minute.
Go on.
What is it? A bargain bin? What?
No, he's not in the bargain
Yes, he is.
bin.
Flawless,
He's
back me
not.
up.
He's in the bargain.
Flawless,
No,
back me
he's
up.
not.
He is a
He's
bargain
not
bin
in the
Brazilian.
bargain
He's a
bin.
bargain bin
Alright, so
Brazilian.
anyone obviously who's
Because he's
watching
not even. His name's not that Brazilian in that, so I can allow him. He's
Nah.
not called Richarlison or something.
Nah, we can't
You know
allow
what I'm
him.
saying? If he's called Richarlison, he's in the bin.
Nah, he's
That's
a
why
Richar-
Fred.
nah.
That's why I
If-
give
if-
Fred his props. You know.
if
Like,
Richarli-
even when Fred was Macca, he had a Macca name. Do you get what I'm saying?
Listen, if Richarlison wasn't a bargain bin Brazilian,
I reckon
anyone
Richarlison's got
with
Brazilian.
Brazilian quality
Yeah.
squares that ball and wins Everton the game.
Yes.
And for the third time in 20 years, they beat Liverpool. Let that sink in. In 20 years, Everton Football Club have beaten Liverpool 2 times. Before Manchester City had the bags amount of money, they beat United more times than that in the 20 years. That is a shambolic record. They are awful.
Nah, because they've been dead food for a long
Nah,
time.
they've been dead food, but the thing is with derbies, it's a leveler. With them, it's not.
It's a
times where
derby.
It's the
Nah,
time.
nah.
It's a leveler.
That derby is never a leveler. More time in that derby, you know Liverpool's gonna win. Every time I watch it,
At
where it's been
Anfield,
that's
not
where
at
it's been
Goodison.
recently. Yeah, not at Goodison. Because I know there's been quite a few draws at Goodison, but what I'm saying is, if you look at any of it, even United City, like United would City's record, even probably before the money, was probably better against United than Everton's versus
but
Liverpool.
do you know what it is?
Go on.
It's because Everton ever really been a big club? City can lay claim to have been a big club at some point in
Nah,
the history.
no,
Everton,
I think
Everton. When it comes to league titles, if I'm not mistaken, I think Everton are fifth.
Yeah.
Everton are a big club.
So
Yeah, but like fifth, what?
No, in league titles, I'm saying they're fifth. I think it's United, Liverpool, Arsenal, might be Villa, and then Everton.
Villa's up there, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Villa and then I think it's Everton. Something like that. Anyway, what I know is, like, they do have history, and their teams, they always give United a game.
I
Goodison's
know,
like,
but-
that's the thing is, Goodison's, especially under Moyes, was never an easy place to go.
What I'm saying is they've never been a big team at the same time Liverpool have, if you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's true. That's true.
City have now, like even back in the day when City were big, United were kind of big as well. You know what I mean? We've always been, maybe apart from the 90s, there was that huge drop off until they took over. There was a huge chasm between City and Liverpool, whereas it's matched up sometimes. I don't think there's ever been a period where Everton are up here and then Liverpool are up here.
No,
it's always like boom, boom. Do you know what I'm saying?
what you're saying.
So that's why when he's saying, "Oh, everything's centered," yeah, it is, because they're in war with someone who they know are bigger and better.
Yeah, but
So they've got that is their
that is their thing, but they should. I get what
that is
you're saying.
their victory.
Yeah, they should
understand?
focus on, because Everton have a big fan base and they have the potential to kick on. And now they have the manager, they have the money. It's like, obviously, take shots wherever you can at Liverpool. I'm with it. You know what I mean? Take shots.
They're gonna forever
FC,
take
whatever.
shots.
Like, I'm with that, but what I'm saying is, and I agree with Stroll in terms of concentrate on making yourself, like them going to get Ancelotti. That's a great move for you.
They could be.
You
They
going to
could
build.
be.
You going to build a new ground. That's good. Like, concentrate on you. I hear you.
yeah,
They
but,
could be one of Liverpool's biggest problems in the next coming years.
Let's hope so. Go on,
but,
Stroll.
but this is the point I'm trying to make. So, and this is from experience, right? From
Go on, last point on it, and then we'll go to the rest.
from when? From 2000. Yeah, from 1999 to 2013, Liverpool did the exact same thing with United. Everything we did was focused around what are United doing? What aren't we doing? How can we disrupt United? How can we stop United winning league titles? How can we be a thorn in their side?
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on what we were doing, we were too busy focused on who you were potentially going for in the transfer market.
Right. I hear you.
We were too busy focused on your sponsors. We were too busy focused on what you're doing with your stadium, what you're doing outside of it, instead of focusing on ourselves. And look what happened. We just fell into a demise, and that's exactly what Everton are doing. Like, how it's baffling. Like, that is your biggest chance. Do you understand how big of a result that would have been for anybody, any Everton fan in Merseyside? The 1 year that Liverpool are going to win the title in 30 years, and you could have turned and said, "Well, wait a minute, we beat you in that year."
I get you.
They'd have had a parade just for that. Like, honestly, they baffle me as a club. They really do. And listen, that was their biggest chance yesterday, the Beatles, and they couldn't do it. It just they were awful club.
So on to some of the results. Obviously, salute to everybody who's listening, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, or you are listening on DAB. Just had to get that in there.
DAB.
Which goes out to, I think it's potential 500,000 listeners. I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. Round about that figure.
Shout out Solomon, around about that figure.
Yo, just a quick one, yeah? City
go
are playing now, yeah?
Yeah.
They're up 1-0, but here the bench.
Yeah, go on.
Scott Carson, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Michael.
The only man
Kyle
with a Champions
Walker.
League medal.
Laporte, Mendy, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Sane, Sterling, and Jesus. That's the bench.
Can I just make that point? The only man in the City squad with the Champions League medal is actually Scott Carson from his time at Liverpool. So unlucky City. Anyway, moving on.
But yeah, moving on. Norwich, Southampton. Southampton won 3-0.
Danny
Three
Ings.
very good goals.
Danny
if I
Ings.
remember. Danny Ings goal. Nathan Redmond got one as well.
Them two are too good for
Great
Southampton.
strike. And you would
You
expect.
know what it is? They're just not very consistent.
Yeah, that's.
But the quality level is very high.
I don't know, Danny Ings, look at his record this season. He's the second highest English goal scorer.
He does this though. Danny Ings does this. He'll do it, and then next year he'll be quiet. And then, you know what I
One
mean?
thing of being at Southampton, he's not getting that type of service. But it's a shame what happened with injuries. Could be interesting to see because he always, every time I watch him, which isn't often, he always looks bright.
Sharp.
He
Yeah.
always looks
Listen,
sharp.
if he didn't-
we said sharp. Always looks like he's a threat.
Yeah.
I'm
He's always
telling
there.
you now, if he didn't have them two ACL injuries, he'd still be at Liverpool. Guaranteed.
Klopp likes him a
Klopp
lot, innit?
absolutely
Yeah,
loves
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Klopp
What is
loves
that?
him.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Watford won, Leicester City won. This was another game that similar to the Aston Villa Southampton match where I thought there being no fans made it a training game esque. Like it wasn't, the atmosphere wasn't there. Like
I've noticed
there
that
was-
with
it's
a lot of the
happened in
lower
certain
games. Yeah.
there's no oomph, there's no
Yeah.
tempo. Like everyone talks about the Premier League being quick. It's all the time, but that game was very laid back.
2 sick goals
And
though.
that Chilwell goal. Woo! What a strike.
You know what I'm saying?
What a strike. Like, what a strike.
He's thinking about Chelsea, isn't he?
Yeah, what a
He's
strike.
thinking, let me
Yeah.
just put myself in the window here. Have that one.
Strike.
You know what I'm
a
saying?
strike. I was like, whoa, but I would say 2 point. Leicester would be looking at that like, all right, let's get the win here and cement
2
that
points
top
dropped.
4 place. Yeah, 2 points dropped. Considering the teams around them drop points like United.
Yeah.
It's a chance to
Can't
pull
put
clear.
Arsenal in it. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's a
no,
chance. Obviously, Chelsea have got Villa.
You
so
can't
there's
put
a-
Arsenal in it. Arsenal are fighting for top 10.
There's a strong possibility Chelsea wouldn't win. So yeah, like you said, 2 very, very, very good goals. Like 2 points dropped. Onto Chelsea versus Aston Villa. Obviously, Aston Villa took the lead. But talk about a poor side. They lack in quality. Like I was watching it and I'm like, Cause I watched the first 10 minutes and then I was on the move. Then I watched like the rest of the game and I was like, it was only a matter of time before Chelsea gonna win this game.
Yeah. Even men think you were
Chelsea
winning,
gonna win
innit?
this game.
But
They just have
I
two.
look at Villa's squad and I just think Mings and Grealish and everyone else is just championship and like
Yeah.
not even top of the crop of championship player. Some of them in there are bang average. They need to all send Tammy Abraham a thank you letter for getting them to the Prem and Grealish. You know what I'm saying? They need to buy them like NBA style rings, championship rings for getting them to the league because some of them players would never see Premier League otherwise.
No,
Not at all.
No,
especially that goal.
I think everyone. I think we'll all agree on it. It's probably Norwich, Villa, and one over who are gonna get relegated.
West Ham. And I'm going to come on to them in a minute
go
because
on,
I've got a
John.
lot to say to them.
Alright,
But
well, that
If
was
they
the
go down,
Yeah,
no.
that was the
But before we do,
Go on.
Pulisic, he's
What
playing for his future. He came on like he had a point to prove to
Chelsea.
Frank Lampard.
Mhm.
The losing Willian, he's running out his contract. Pedro's going, and you think about it, Werner coming in, great signing for Chelsea, massive signing. They've got Ziyech. Pulisic was playing like I want a spot in that front three.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal
Was
when he came on.
That's a good front three. And I was thinking about Chelsea side. And we're talking about them. Obviously, Werner coming in. You got Callum Hudson-Odoi. You got Pulisic. You got Ziyech. They are not that far off. Similar to United, I think if you add a left back, a centre back next to Rudiger, because I rate.
I
Rudiger
think they're more
highly.
equipped right now. I said this earlier on the show.
I think the only thing they lack is that.
Experience.
No, they experience.
No, I'm talking
Well,
Frank Lampard.
yeah.
Frank Lampard.
Yeah. I'm talking in terms of their 11. Their midfielders, even though I rate their midfielders, Kante, quality, Jorginho, Kovacic, they're all very similar. I think they need that attacking midfielder in there. I don't
Yes.
think Mount's it. I don't think Mount's
No.
it.
No,
yet. I
Ma-
rate
Mount
Rob-
isn't it.
I rate.
You know what? You
I
know who
rate
it could be?
Loftus-Cheek, but-
Yes. No, I think it could be
It
him.
could be him.
Could be.
Because if you line up with
If
Werner,
he don't get injured.
yeah, if you got Werner, say you got Werner, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech as your front three, and then you play Jorginho, Kante, Holding, and then you put Loftus-Cheek. You get a left back, Rudiger next to a new centre back. You got Aspilicueta or Kepa.
Yeah, Christensen's not good enough.
Yeah, that's a good
I
team.
think that thing is quality. Me, Tomori.
I forgot about.
I
Tomori.
think him.
next
he-
to Rudiger.
Yeah. For me, Tomori for me is what Tuanzebe would be for us if he played. If we just had that
If you
faith in him,
think- Yeah.
and we just because I honestly think he's a very good player. He's gonna be. He looks to me like one of them. You know, like when you see a young player and you think, I'm gonna see more of him. For me, he's gonna be around for a long time. I can see him playing for England and everything.
Chelsea, like I say, Chelsea ain't that far off. It's just a question, like Stroll said, in terms of Lampard. Is he good enough? We don't know. Oh yeah, and Georgiev says there, Reece James is a bad boy, right back.
Yeah,
I forgot
Reece
about
James.
Reece James as well.
Reece
But
James.
they are not that far off. It's just if they do the business in the transfer market, and we can see already by the way they've moved already.
Yeah.
Decisive,
They're not joking.
like I like that.
I
Decisive.
think they've been. I think honestly, I think they've probably had a talking from Abramovich. I think he's probably said, right, you know what? Because he's very cutthroat in it. You
Yeah,
know,
he's
he don't
very
really mess
cutthroat.
about. So he's probably said, right, you know, if you man still want a job, make sure you're doing your bits. All right, then I'm not putting the money for a bit. We've had that ban. Boom. Here's that Morata money. Do what you want with that. They've quick got Werner. If they literally get, because I'm seeing them being linked with Havertz. To me, if they get Havertz,
Ooh, yeah, Havertz will be a problem. A midfield three of Kante, Jorginho, Havertz linking up with Ziyech, Pulisic, and Werner.
dangerous, bro.
That is dangerous.
And look how
That
the
is
pace.
dangerous.
You think we've got pace?
That is-
If they go and get Ziyech, Werner, and Pulisic, that's some serious pace.
That's
You
it,
know,
yeah,
that's
that's
pace to
dangerous,
rival our pace.
Yeah.
And they've got pace with substance as well. It's not just like Dan James blindfold running
Fine.
year 5
Like
sports
he's
day
casting
pace.
Bird Box.
That's
He
what it is.
he does have that year 5. He has that younger brother pace. when
Bro,
you're
he's
trying
got
to
year
keep
5
up
sports day pace, bro.
with him. Sports day.
But you know why they fall over at the end?
Because literally they're running too quick.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. On to West Ham Wolves 2-0. Who was it? Was it Neto that struck for Wolves?
And Jimenez.
And
Jimenez.
yeah,
Jimenez. What a strike though.
from
That
Neto.
strike. What a strike. I was like, did you just watch Chilwell? I'm like,
Yo,
what a
yeah,
strike.
it's a carbon copy,
He's
innit?
very similar. I was
I
like,
rate him highly though, you know. He's another one of these. See, this comes down to
Go on.
see Wolves. Wolves is probably one of the best. I'd say Wolves might just be the best run club in the country.
Why
Check that
why
out.
are
It's a
top
strong
6 clubs
possibility.
not looking at Nuno? Why?
No, I think Nuno would be foolish to move from there.
somebody's. I can't remember where it was, so it's blind in my memory. But I was watching something during lockdown on YouTube, and I was watching something, and someone said they spoke to Nuno, and Nuno had offers from bigger teams than Wolves. But he was like, if I go to these bigger clubs, I'm just gonna be another manager. But he's like, if I go to Wolves and I make Wolves something, I'm gonna be remembered, and that's where he's going. Like they are looking like, I don't know they're running, but they are looking like a shoe-in for top 5, top 4.
If I was Manchester United, he's be one of the first names on there, and I would be doing. Look at what he's done.
You see, the
Give
only
him
thing,
the funds.
if you get Nuno, you have to bring in his backroom staff.
Yes.
You have to bring in his director of football, whoever it is. You have to bring in because they've got a lot of links with the Portuguese league. You know, players like that. Neto, I think he cost them pennies.
Next to nothing.
Yeah, but
But look how
short-term
they're playing.
loss and then long-term gain.
Now, you know why I don't think we get him? Because I think he could have been anywhere. He could have been. He's probably, like you said, he's head office. He knows that's the best setup for him. He's got everything there he needs. Everything. It's all tailored. It's like an old school Wenger in the sense of the whole club is tailored to Nuno.
They've been getting they've given him everything he needs. Like you said, them being the most well-run club in the country. They're probably no one gets injured.
Yeah.
And their system is like set up like they're the what's the word? They have the most effective system on the pitch. Like they're drilled.
Yes.
Like they're drilled.
Every player
with him. Go on.
Every player and every position that player is in is him playing to his full potential in that position.
He gets the best out of limited. And the thing is with them being drilled as well. Normally with drill sergeants, people don't really like Pep's a drill sergeant. Players don't really want to him, but Nuno's a drill sergeant. But the players love him.
You know why? Because he's got the big Portuguese contingent. But I think he's one of these managers where he really makes sure he gets to know the player or he hears a bit about him. But it helps because they've got that what's his name, that agent.
Yeah.
I think, is it Ronaldo's agent they've got?
I'm not sure.
They've got one of these big agents anyway. One of these big Portuguese agents. I'm sure it's Mendes. Yeah, I'm sure it's Mendes. And basically he knows all of his players. So it'll be a case of you're not going in blind when you're signing these players. Yeah. You're literally getting a scout report on the characteristics as well as the attributes. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get exactly
So,
what you're going to say.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying City are winning 3-0.
I'll say you're winning 3-0. All right. You see that? You're getting updates live. So if you're not watching the City Burnley game and tuned into us, we much appreciated. Beatbox Dre Beat says you guys hate Mourinho. Nah, we don't hate Mourinho. Like, we just talk facts on him.
We don't hate him.
I'm a fan of Mourinho.
Why do I need to hate on Mourinho? He's dead.
Yeah, but I just stated what it is. Like, he's a boxer past his prime, and I hate to see that type of thing. But yeah,
West Ham United. West Ham United.
Oh yeah, West Ham. Go on, get your thoughts on Manchester United. West Ham United.
So we went into lockdown. Yeah. And the most vocal person out of everyone, which is null and void the league, lo and behold, was a certain somebody called Karen Brady, who I only know for The Apprentice.
The Apprentice is a banging.
She's a sideman on that as well.
Yeah, but she's a side. That's all I know her for.
On there.
Yeah, she does. But what bits is she doing at West Ham United? What's she doing?
See that? This is why we should praise her. You know why we should praise her? Because she is making sure she is contributing to make sure West Ham ain't nothing. Get me? We need the statue built over. I've said this. Like, people criticize Mike Ashley for what he's done with Sports Direct and things like that, and I agree with that. But not only one do I get my train is very cheap from Sports Direct. Number two, he has made sure. Newcastle are no threat in football. That is great. Yeah, I don't want Newcastle to be a threat.
But what's the trend there?
I want Mike Ashley to take over Liverpool.
But what's the trend there? Look at it. It's two business people who are not involved in football mashing it up, and that's what's happening to United as well, though.
That's true.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the trend of these business. Even Arsenal, that's the trend there.
Yeah.
It's people who are seeing that's one thing I think is the Premier League in the next 10 years could either be absolutely amazing or it could die the hell out because it's just business now.
Yeah. Go on, Strong. Get your thoughts out on it.
Listen, she was the most vocal person out of every club. Null and void the league. We need to null and void the league. Funny that, because if you were sat in 5th with a game in hand and 1 point behind 4th and you were fighting for Champions League, you wouldn't be saying this. You're only saying that because you know you're about to get your ass relegated. Like, realistically, that's the only reason. Look at how poor that team is. David Moyes again. Just Haller isn't good enough. Haller.
See, 1 second, cause I remember like man was saying we should get Haller in that when was this now? Was it in January?
Yeah, but this is the thing though. Like Haller, he's one of them. I think.
That's a Missy Elliott lyric, you know. I got a Missy Elliott lyric up front.
If you put similar to when people talk about Raul Jimenez for Wolves, I'm like, if you take that system away from them Wolves players, they are not the same. So when people are like, bring him into Manchester United, I'm like, no, because Wolves have a system that is built around him.
Yeah.
Wolves have a system that are built around Matinho.
That
built around
system is
Traore,
literally built all around him.
all around it, built around Johnny and
Yeah.
people like this. Like, there's no accident that their wing backs are both on point but have very similar attributes.
Yeah.
Because it's drilled into them to a T.
Johnny can literally play right wing back.
Yeah.
As good as he can play
That's
left
why you
wing
see
back.
Bowley out here chewing gum, just
Yeah.
looking cool, calm, and relaxed
Yeah.
on the pitch. Cool, calm, and collected.
West Ham are getting relegated.
Yeah, let's
And
hope so.
I'm going to have a null and void party.
Yeah, let's hope so.
You know what it
Let's
is
hope
with
so.
West Ham,
Go on,
yeah?
one last thing. Go on.
There. So I've just said Thingy are very well run. West Ham are probably in the things for one of the worst run.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you look at...
Like over the years, like the amount of... Like even leaving Upton Park, that's stupid.
The stadium move awful. The
Didn't
reaction
need
to
to.
the fans hate the owners. They hate the owners with a passion.
And you know what's worse about them two owners, yeah? We're saying about all these other owners. The thing with all these other owners that are mashing up clubs, they're foreign. These two are two Englishmen, so why go on for that?
Yeah, it's not even a forensic. Like you said, if you're not, to me, you can only get involved in businesses and be successful in businesses if you're passionate about it. So if you're not a footballing person, you can't take it to the footballing. You can't take a football team to the footballing top. But you can do it
Yes.
business-wise. Like
Yes.
all these teams we are mentioning, all these owners are making a fortune. They're looking at business. Are we in the green? Are we turning a profit? Yes, we are turning a profit. Go on, Shrub.
Nah, this is completely off thingy, but
Go on.
so I just want to listen. We've all got platforms. We've all seen what's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Burnley have basically, the fans have decided to fly a banner over the Etihad, basically saying that White Lives Matter, which is disgraceful for Burnley Football Club.
Burnley,
Absolutely disgraceful.
Bro,
And
it's Burnley.
Burnley have done that.
Yeah.
It's good job we're on legal radio, so
Yeah.
let's not even like talk
Burnley.
politics. I just want to say, again, I've said this in the past.
How many black men play for Burnley?
So salute to everybody who has supported the Black Lives Matter movement in any way, shape, or form they have.
which is,
And go on.
sorry to interrupt, which is a perfect segue for one thing I did want to talk about. Did you see Mane?
Yeah, I can see Mane. Did you not
Did you
see
see
Mane?
Mane?
No.
So obviously before each game, everyone's taking a knee.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
So the rest blew the whistle. 21 man on the pitch have took a knee. Mane's ran thinking the whistle's blown in.
For the start of the match.
Sprinted.
I missed the
Yeah,
start of the
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah,
Sprinted.
You know what? I
Straight in.
seen someone tweet
Straight
something
in.
about Mane. and I
Yeah,
thought,
Mane,
what are
that's
you
what
on
it
about?
was.
I thought he
So
just
yeah,
did something in the match.
that's
and I
what it
missed
is. I can't believe that, and that's ridiculous. Whoever's
Bro,
done
you know-
that.
you know what
I
it
hope
is?
that Burnley. I hope that Burnley football. I hope that's the supporters. I hope,
just seen it,
yeah,
man.
I hope that's the supporters that have done that ban up, and it's not Burnley football. Club.
Oh,
That's
no,
what
no, I
wanna
don't
say.
think the
Oh,
club
yeah,
will be
yeah.
stupid
Yeah,
enough
I
to
hope,
do
I
that.
hope it's, and I hope the club come out and say this is wrong.
It's
I hope
You know what it
It's
is? You know what it
disgusting.
is? You know what, yeah? Let me just say this as a young black man. I'm not surprised, yeah? If you're from England and you go to these certain areas or whatever, you'd know the know. I'm not surprised. But you know what? Small mind and, you know, you got a small club and you're rubbish. So, you know, karma, you know what I'm saying? You got a dead team. You know what I'm saying? Your team is Burnley. So, you know, you got time to do other things. Maybe you should have, like, you know,
White
sent a
lies.
letter in. Maybe you should have put all your energy to sending a letter
Listen.
into your club to get your club better. But
White
yeah,
Lives Matter.
so
Ridiculous.
see it there.
Yeah, ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Just quick, obviously, before we end the show as well. Who's come back worse from this lockdown? It's effective. We've seen Sheffield United. We've seen them draw against
Yeah.
Aston Villa. And then they got beat 3-0 by Newcastle. I can't tell you the last time Newcastle scored 3 goals in a game. Even Joe Linton bagged after
See, Joe
2,000
Linton.
days.
I had to
or
say it,
whatever.
say it before. It looks like a yard man, Joe Linton. You know,
It is. Just want to say quickly, so do you lot see Sheffield United bouncing back from that?
No.
You reckon that's it for them? You reckon you can see them dropping,
I don't know. I'd have to see the next match.
which is against,
But-
ironically, against Manchester United?
To me, oh right, yeah, they're gonna beat us then. But to me, their thing might be it's a supporters thing. Do you know what I mean? I think they get them lower league teams. They're very at one with the supporters, aren't they? Do you get what I mean? When you come up from that lower level, your supporters mean a lot. It
As
could
we
be
said
an
that,
aspect of
the
that.
fans do expect it, because even the first goal they conceded, I can't remember the left back, Sheffield United's name, left back. You'll know, Star. Of course you
Stevens.
know. And did you see when he miskicked it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
fell over.
Yeah, he
It's
fell
like that's a
over.
proper rusty mistake. That doesn't
Yes.
happen. Like we spoke about Wolves being well drilled. Sheffield United are very similar in that mode.
Yes.
Well drilled. Everyone knows their position. Everyone's players are played in positions to get the best out of them, type of thing. But yeah, salute to everybody who was in the comments. Apologies if we didn't get to all the YouTube comments. If you want us to see it, obviously super chat.
Yeah.
And then we'll definitely.
If you want us to look at your comments. You've got a super
Yeah,
chat.
super chat. Like obviously we'll get to
We get
all of
so
them.
many comments.
We just get so many comments, and then that's in between us three trying to give our opinions on everything as well. But salute to everyone who locked in on YouTube or Twitter. Shout out to everyone who listened on DAB also, and you old school listeners who listen via the Pi Radio app.
I went smelling my armpits. I was dabbing.
The
By
Pi
the way.
Radio app or the website. And this is from a Third Eye View. We will be back next week discussing all the Premier League results from the next week and also all the biggest news as well. We'll be back Monday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Salute to everybody who tuned in. Thank you.
Yep.